Water.
Earth.
Fire.
Air.
For the longest time, the four nations have lived together in harmony. Under the wise leadership of Avatar Roku, the world has experienced an era of peace and prosperity unlike any other. But with the recent death of Avatar Roku after his volcanic island erupted, members of all four nations feel the winds and tides of change. With the search for the new Avatar only just beginning, the world seems poised on the brink of conflict. But without the Avatar, who will save the world?
My name is Bree, also known as PrettiPixel, and I am playing Shurva, a warrior from the Fire Nation.
I'm Andrew, also go by Lucifer. I'm playing Firebender that goes by Mako Bow.
Hello, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Oki, a waterbender from the Northern Water Tribe.
I'm Brandon, and I'm Rung-Bolo, an earthbender from the Earth Nation.
Hey, I'm Dave, and my character is Al, the airbender from the Air Nomads.
And I'm Owen, the dungeon master of this ragtag group of members of all four nations. Hello! Hello, hello! Everybody wave! Cameras are still coming across. There they are! Yay! Hey! Who just headbutted their microphone? Dave. Oh man.
There's always one.
There's always one. Hello everybody, how you doing? It's nice to see you again. We're going to play some Avatar Legends, and you're probably thinking to yourselves, wait a minute, it's not Thursday. And you're right, it's not Thursday, it's Tuesday. I'm not going to be here Thursday, so we're going to be doing Avatar tonight. How exciting, good to do it early. We're also kind of making up for last week when we unfortunately weren't able to do a session. Tragic, but that's okay, because I'm going to kill all of them tonight to punish them for their terrible, terrible attendance last session.
You knew it.
Brandon's like making like a cross at me. Andrew just looks bored, like he's accepting death. He's just ready. Andrew's just ready to embrace it. Yeah, that's a thumbs up. And Bree's drinking to prepare herself. I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no, thank you everybody who came and joined us for D&D last week. Really, really fun session. Looking forward to our session tomorrow night as well. We are going to be having two of our lovely players, Claire and Michael, be away for a little bit on account of them going to be on their honeymoon. So wish them a congratulations in the comments. They're going to be heading off on honeymoon, so they'll be away for a couple of weeks, which means we're going to have a guest come and join us on the stream. Possibly even two guests for the D&D stream.
Ooh.
I have been working behind the scenes. I am going to try and smash out character art in time for the session next week. But if I get it done earlier, I'll chuck it up on Twitter and ArtStation as a little teaser for their characters so that you guys can get to know them a little bit before the session starts. But yeah, really looking forward to that. On the weekend, I racked the mead. Racking is just a very fancy way of saying I moved it from one bottle to another. And the reason I did that was I wanted to get rid of all the spices. They've been in there for 4 weeks now. This was a project I did that was a bit random 4 or 5 weeks ago. I recorded it and chucked it up on YouTube because I thought, hey, I'll try something new. I've always wanted to try and brew stuff. Let's give it a shot. I also did a quick taste test after I had racked them. And holy shit. It's so nice. It's so good. This is my future is now. I'm just going to brew mead forever because it's so delicious. I can't believe we don't drink mead as like a society anymore. It's much more delicious than like beer or I'm trying to think of like what other equivalents it'd be. Beer and wine are the closest equivalents. It's so much more delicious.
Compared to cider.
Yeah, it's like it's a little bit like cider. I would say it's a little bit like a cider in a way. Yeah, like I know that we kind of moved away from mead because beer was new and inventive like 400 years ago, but we've had beer for a couple of hundred years now. Like it's all right. We can go back and try new things or old things and bring them back. So yeah, I've got all the footage from that, the racking and the taste test, and I sort of talk through the flavors. I'll have that all edited and uploaded probably by tomorrow night. So if you're listening to this on the podcast and on YouTube, it's already up. Because I've already done it, because this is going to be edited afterwards. So go and check it out if you want to see something really, really different. I talk through how I make mead and then the racking process. In 4 weeks from now, it will be completely done, and I am going to invite anyone who is in the nearby vicinity, I think which is just Ali and Brandon, to come and do a taste test as well. Because I'm a little bit biased. And I'm worried now I've hyped it for you guys. Oh well. It's gonna be fine.
As long as we don't go blind, I'm fine.
I can say methanol is not present. My vision is fine, so methanol was not present. Also, turns out the yeast I'm using don't make methanol, so that's a relief.
Oh,
So was never a danger to begin with.
You can drink as much as you want. It's healthy
Exactly.
now.
It is 15. It's not 15% yet, but it will be 15%. I think it's not going to be something I drink a lot of. I think it's going to be one of those ones that I sip quietly in the background during streams. I think if I was to drink like an equivalent like beer, it would be a very interesting stream. Not to say I might not give that a go.
What would that be in alcohol percentage? It'd be like 3 drinks, 4 drinks, or something like that.
15% would be about 4 drinks or 5
5.
drinks. Yeah, 5 standard drinks.
Yeah.
Because
wow.
hang on, I can tell you right now. I can do the maths. Because my beer is I think 4% or 3%, and it's 1.2
Yeah,
standard
it'll be
drinks.
1.2.
It's 4% and it's 1.2 standard drinks. So yeah, it's going to be about 4 to 5 standard drinks.
A 6-pack per glass. Hell yeah.
Pretty happy about that. People saying that Archie looks grumpy in his picture. For podcast listeners, Archie is most likely joining us tonight. He said he was, and then he messaged me like 10 minutes ago to be like, there are people in my house, I can't get rid of them. So I'm assuming that he will be joining us, but he hadn't sent me a picture of his face. So I had to take a screenshot of last session. I'm realizing I now chose a very grumpy screenshot. As I look at it, it's funny, you don't see these things until they're pointed out to you. He looks
He
very
looks like
grumpy.
a Sith Lord.
He does look
If
like
you
a
just
Sith
went
Lord.
with our option, no one would have noticed. Just saying.
Let's see if I can do this right.
Now release your
I've got, like, I've got one of those people in my house as well, and see if I can get the angle right.
Yeah.
Is it going to
So-
turn out? In a few seconds, I'm going to look at the other screen and see if it looks down at Oki, Ali.
Okay. Okay.
You looked at me.
Oh, damn, I looked the wrong way.
Yeah. To look at Archie, I've got to look this way on the thing. For podcast listeners, this is going to be very confusing for you because you can't see. The picture that I have of Archie, because his webcam's not on yet, because he hasn't joined us yet, it's a very grumpy picture. You should go check it out and have a bit of a laugh at his expense. I recommend that. We all recommend. That's it from news from me. Any other fun news or things to share? Andrew's wearing a particularly funky looking hoodie. It has avocados on it. I'm a huge fan. That was a very uncool dance, and he has absolutely ruined the avocado hoodie for me. I now have no follow-up questions. We're going to move on to somebody else. No, I'm kidding, Andrew. Did you have some news, or was it just a cool dance?
Just a cool dance. Just a cool dance.
All right, sweet as.
He looks a bit
I'm
smashed.
changing jobs.
Changing jobs. Very exciting.
It's a fun thing. So I have a new gig with a mate of mine, so we finished up by mid next week, so be good.
Now, I hear this was an impromptu job change.
A bit impromptu. Mate of
sudden.
mine started up his own agency of sorts, and then I'm like, hell yeah, I'll come join on that, so should be good.
Good luck.
Already got a few people on now, so thanks, man.
Fantastic.
Should be sweet.
Good luck. I hope it goes really, really well.
Will you be
Yeah,
working with your mate or working for your mate?
Working for my mate, but it's just gonna be the two of us for now. Until we expand out. So we've got about 6 clients now, and should be up to a few more very soon. So yeah, it's all going pretty quick.
It's
So,
exciting.
very keen.
That's very exciting.
Is it
Good.
weird
Good
having one of
change,
your
more
friends
chill.
be your boss?
Nah, for some reason it isn't.
I heard nah, but your face said yeah.
I thought about it. I was like, is it weird having your mate being your boss? But I think it's easier because you can be like just very chill about everything. It's not just like, oh no,
and
what's my
you
boss
know
gonna
it's
think?
you know he can't fire you because it's super awkward.
Exactly. you're like, bruh, really? Really
I was
now?
at your wedding.
I was at your wedding.
I'm godfather to your 6 children.
I was the MC.
So you trust me to
I
look after
imagine
your
it
kids
depends
if
on
you
the
die,
man.
but not to be an employee. I see how it is.
You came into work drunk and peed and everything. Yeah, but
You had that example ready very quickly.
I just try to think of something that would be good.
Okay.
There's
fair
one
enough.
time. There's one time.
Yeah,
We weren't
definitely.
even working.
You came in on a sad day.
The Queen was very annoyed about the couches at Buckingham Palace, but she got over it.
It's not the worst thing that's happened in Buckingham Palace.
Of course not. All right. Any other news from anybody else? I can see Bree's concentrating, which probably means she's got no news.
Not really, no.
Hair's looking funky. Have you dyed it back recently?
I washed it.
I felt like it was a lighter color last time
That's
I
the
saw you.
extent of
Maybe it's the
it.
camera
No.
balance, the color balance. I feel like it was a bit lighter last time, but you could be right.
It's been dark brown for a while now.
Oh, it just looks
'Cause-
darker than I remember. Maybe it could just be the color balance on my monitor. I was playing around with that before as well. I'm now realizing in hindsight it's much more likely to be that because your chair looks a lot darker too. That's, I know you haven't changed chairs. In
Hang on,
hindsight,
let me.
no, it's me on the.
Does that look better? Is that like what it used to look like?
No, if anything, it's now darker because the contrast.
Exactly, the contrast is just dark.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I've just
We've
realized that
all
your chair
had
doesn't
that,
look
like-
pink. Doesn't look as pink to me anymore. It now looks like a salmon cream. That's a weird word.
Ew, I suddenly really
Salmon.
don't like my chair anymore.
Sorry about that. My bad.
Terramessalada. That's
How
what it looks
could you?
like.
Now, obviously, I'm not stalling, trying to give Archie time to get in. I've run out of stall. He's just going to have to come in when he comes in. I'll do a recap. I've written a big old recap because it has been a little bit of time since we were last here, so I'll get us all up to speed. Make sure we all know.
We
what
won,
we're up to.
right?
What was that? Sorry.
We won.
So-
We saved the world. We undid all my mistakes, and it's happy.
Last I recall, it was an all boys session, so it was not good.
Just shenanigans amongst shenanigans amongst shenanigans.
Last session was
There
a
were a
boys
few
session,
shenanigans.
and I do make a point of calling that out in the recap. Don't worry. Alrighty, let's do this. Our story has been following Shurva and Mako of the Fire Nation, Rung of the Earth Kingdom, Oki of the Water Tribe, and Aal of the Air Nomads. The children of important ambassadors of each of the four nations, they have been attending a historic summit at the Beifong Estate. With the recent death of Avatar Roku following the eruption of his volcanic island home, omens of war and conflict seem numerous. The team have arrived in the Northern Water Tribe, and Oki's training to understand and appease spirits has begun. With the older seer, Tarnak, currently training the new male seer, Akila, Oki and Akila are now learning together. After spending some time practicing on how to calm spirits using waterbending, the group decided to investigate the North Pole, a combination of Aang's curiosity and Akila's advice driving them forwards. Arriving at the forest located around the spirit portal, sealed under a dome of energy, the group spread out to look around. While Mako and Shurva investigated the nearby lake and Rung and Aal hung out near the sled, Oki and Akila approached the sealed portal. Akila's motivations for bringing the group to the portal were revealed to be potentially sinister, as the voice of a spirit spoke through the dome, asking for Akila to complete the ritual. Oki, feeling this whole situation was getting a little sus, decided not to participate. However, Akila was revealed to be a bloodbender and began forcing her to perform the ritual with him. A tense combat ensued, with Mako facing off against the same fox spirit he had previously burned, while Aal tried to reason with Akila. At the same time, Rung was screaming at him, and Shurva was whipping him. Somehow, this combination worked, and Akila allowed the ritual to fail and was subsequently captured by the group. On the way back to the Northern Water Tribe, however, a blizzard hit and Akila took his chance to escape. After waiting out the storm, Shurva decided to explore the Water Tribe, while Oki left with Ahini to find her old outpost hidden in an iceberg. The boys, now missing the brains of the group, headed out to find Akila, and remarkably were able to locate him. Akila was now regretting his choices and wanted to make amends, so led the group across the sea ice. Mako, now leaving Shurva behind yet again, to an old temple once important to the Water Tribe for communing with spirits. Arriving at the temple, Aal noticed a boat tied up to a neighbouring iceberg and discovered Oki and Ahini were there fixing up Oki's old outpost. Deciding not to involve someone specifically trained to deal with spirits, Aal headed back to the group to enter the temple and deal with some spirits. Looking in through the broken down doors of the temple, the group were a little apprehensive to just walk on in. So instead, Aal pushed Mako inside, the door rising from the ground and sealing Mako inside as the fox spirit formed himself from white-blue flame in front of him. Outside, the boys heard the familiar voice of Shurva coming from behind them. "What the fuck have you idiots done this time?" And that is where we left off last session. It was a spicy
Accurate.
session. Thank you. It was a good session last session. I think my favorite moment is like Aal's there, sees Oki and Ahini inside this like little outpost and goes, "Ooh, no. Comes back to the group and they're like, "We're gonna deal with some spirits." Like, "Oh yeah, that person who's specifically trained to deal with spirits, they're on the other iceberg. Ooh, yeah, don't talk to them. Let's do this. We've got this, boys."
Aal's time to shine.
And then he pushed Mako inside the temple. My other favorite.
I don't
moment.
remember doing that, but I also don't remember not doing that.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't remember that happening, but I'm also like, that definitely happened.
I specifically went back and listened to the episode again today just to refresh my memory.
Yeah.
And Aal, your exact words were, "What does it look like inside?" "I push Mako in," without me answering, with no hesitation. It was just like, "What does it look like inside?" "Yeah, I push Mako in." Because you were like, "I don't really want
Must
to
have
go."
been impromptu.
Yeah, I think it was. It was at the very end of the session, I suspect, that at that point. of like a whole session of just absolute shit shenanigans, I was just like, yeah, fine, push him in, whatever.
How very air nomad of you.
Chaos. Chaos is allowed.
So much peace.
Yeah. Now we're actually going to do...
Tranquility.
Yeah, exactly. Peace and tranquility. We're actually going to do a little bit of a time jump. Start with Shurva. We're going to go back in time about an hour. Shurva, deciding to have a bit of a look around and explore, get a lay of the land. The boys have said that they're not going to go too far. They just want to explore a little bit of the surrounding area on the sled. At no point have they discussed with you any intention to go and look for a killer. They tell you that they are just going to have a bit of a look around on the sled, have a bit of a play around on the sled with sled dogs while you go and have a bit of a look around. As you walk through the bustling streets of the Northern Water Tribe, the early morning sun reflects off the ice crystals, creating this dazzling display of rainbow colours all around you. The marketplace, just near the edge of the southern gate, which is where you guys are located, is stocked with all manner of goods, mostly goods from the sea. You can see a large fish market present, lots of really bizarre looking catches on display, including things like bear salmon, which are massive salmon with the massive face of a bear, and these like little paws dangling off as well. And also I should say some saber-toothed salmon as well, which is salmon with massive saber teeth as well, from saber-toothed cats. And as well the mole squids, which you've heard about a few times. You can see that some mole squids are being squeezed for their ink to fill vials that are on sale as well. And you have a bit of a look around. Did you want to make me a assess a situation check just to see what other stuff you pick up on while you're exploring?
Sure.
You don't have to. Your choice.
Hang on, I have to figure out which screen that just opened on.
One of them. We've got some artwork happening in the background.
Man.
6, failure. Shurva, there's so much going on that you actually are finding it pretty hard to concentrate. Your senses and your training is kicking in, trying to identify exits, entryways, any threats and things like that. So you're not as able to focus on what the specifics of the area around are. You don't get as much of the information as you would like. After about sort of 30, 40 minutes or so, you get to the edge of the markets and have arrived at the other end of the south gate. You can see across the ice floes in front of you. As you sort of wander down through the gate, you can see the sled heading rapidly towards you, with the 2 polar bear dogs in front pulling. And on the back of the sled, you can see Mako, Rung, Al, and Aquila. As the sled sort of comes charging towards you, you are expecting it to slow down and stop, but it doesn't. You hear Mako from the sled call out, no, and the sled speeds up and turns away from you as you are sort of jogging behind a little bit, calling out, what the fuck, as they just take off and disappear into the distance. You sort of jog for a few moments, realizing that they're heading out across the sea ice, a very dangerous expanse of shifting, moving sea ice, on a sled. A craft designed for use on land and snow, with a bloodbender who has tried to kill Mako. You sort of see them speed off into the distance. What would Shurva be thinking at this point? What would kind of be Shurva's thought process?
A mixture between annoyance that he's run off again and put himself in another shit position, and also a sense of duty. Like, I'm gonna have to go save his life. Don't know from what yet, whether it's a killer or something that they're going towards, but I'm gonna have to go save his life again.
You have to save me from Al.
Shurva, as you sort of like get to the edge of the sea ice, you can see in front of you a section of cracked and broken, floating sort of frozen ice that has opened up and formed this almost like a fishing hole in the center, but has cracked and broken through. As you look, you see the snow begin sort of coalescing around this, forming the outline of a very familiar looking shape. A spirit, a fox with 3 tails whipping about. And you see as it begins taking off in the direction of the sled. Moving in and out of focus, you can sort of see its form and outline created by the snow, and it leaves these frozen paw prints in place. These almost like an indentation in the snow and ice that is frozen solid. This dark blue ice. These paw prints heading out across the sea ice as it chases after the sled. After about 100 meters or so, it reaches the edge of a patch of sea ice, and there's a splash of water that freezes as the fox enters, that leaves this like frozen splash in place that slowly tips over as gravity turns it and forms just another patch of sea ice. Just some information for you.
Okay.
just some things you see.
Yep.
What would Shurva be doing?
How far? Like, can I still see which direction the sled is going?
Yeah, so the sled is currently headed west, directly out across the ice. You can see. Oh, sorry, no, east. Sorry, directly out across the sea ice. You can see that it's heading out to sea, essentially. You can see at the front of the sled, it looks like Aquila is waterbending to form these ice bridges that the sled can travel across. So there's a path that you can follow. They're making bridges across the sea ice as they go. That could be very easy to just jog across if you wanted to, but they are much, much quicker than you are. You can see them quickly sort of losing sight of them in the distance.
Okay, well, I
should say
assume they're going to have to
they leave big tracks as well, I should say as well.
Yeah. So I assume they're going to have to stop at some point, so I'm just going to follow.
Yeah, well, I mean, either they'll stop
down.
or they'll leave the sea ice and end up in the ocean. One of those things will definitely happen. So
yeah, either way, I'll find them at the end.
Yeah, exactly right. Shurva, you take off at a bit of a brisk jog moving along. As you get to the edge of one of the big patches of sea ice, you can see a group of fishermen in the distance, heading out on their boats for the early morning. It looks like they're just about reaching the edge of the sea ice, of your little ice patch where you are. And as you're sort of jogging over, you can see a familiar sight. You see Kurok is actually there on the boat with them. Kurok sort of sees you jogging across the sea ice, waves for the boat to anchor, and they drop the sail. And he jumps onto the sea ice and waterbends his way towards you, sliding across the ice like an ice skater. As he catches up to you, he pauses and goes, Shurva, what are you doing out on the sea ice? It is dangerous to be out here.
Well, tell that to the other ones. They just took off on a sled. Like, you can see the tracks there. They're gone, and I need to find where they are, because if Mako dies, it'll be the end of me.
They took a sled across the sea ice. Oki would not have done such a thing. Who
No. The boys.
Oh.
Including Aquila.
Oh dear. I had heard Aquila was in some kind of trouble. Ahini briefly mentioned something. She had not gone into specifics. But she said that he was dead, that he had fallen off a cliff.
No, apparently the boys found him, I'm guessing, and he's very much alive, and he's currently taking a group of 0 waterbenders out into the middle of the sea, and I'm a little bit worried about what's going to happen out there.
I can see why. The direction the tracks are headed looks like they're headed up towards the old temple. Is there any reason they would go there?
To a temple.
Yes,
God.
it used to be a site of worship and connection for the water tribe to connect with the spirits.
The spirits? Yeah.
But it has not been used in some time. It is a very dangerous place. It used to be part of the mainland, but the ice broke off and it has floated out to sea on an iceberg.
Yep, that'll be where they're heading.
Why would they go there? Is it exclamation mark spirit? Yeah, there we go.
They would be going there probably, I'm assuming, to help with Mako's issue that he has brought upon himself. And Aquila will probably try to speak to the spirits. And Mako has this weird fetish with spirits, so...
But you said Oki. You said Oki was not with them. That is...
No.
A seer by themselves would not be enough. It would require 2. Mako has been... You said that he had come into contact with the whale spirits of the Siwang deserts. That is a powerful spirit. One seer would not be enough to do anything.
I'm assuming they don't know that, though.
Aquila should know better. This is...
Aquila is cocky.
Yes.
And he would think he can do it himself.
You could just be arrogant enough to think that he could do it by himself.
Yeah.
The male seers are not as powerful as the female seers. It does not surprise me that he would think that he is, though. That is just the way of things. Some things women are better at than men. This is one of them.
Oh, that's a nice change. Is there any way that you can get me to that temple faster?
Absolutely.
In the hopes that they don't off themselves before I get there?
Of course, yes. I can absolutely help you get there. Although it may be a bit uncomfortable.
How?
You watch as he ice bends a makeshift sled out of ice.
Mm.
If you sit on this, it's like basically imagine like a flat toboggan. He's almost made like a bowl of ice. If you sit in this, I will push.
Alright, why not?
Bobsled for
What's the
American
worst that
viewers.
can happen?
It will be a bit bumpy and a bit cold on your bottom.
That's fine. I won't really feel it through my armor.
Yes, because everyone knows that metal does not transmit any heat in any direction. Or
Yes,
cold.
but how would Shurva know that?
That's true. That's fair.
She's never been in a cold climate.
That's fair. That's fair. The Fire Nation bobsled team. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Hot runnings. Yeah. That was
Cool
the
runnings.
reference I was going for. I'm pleased you guys picked it up so quickly. I almost changed his voice to this, yeah. No, that's probably offensive. I'm sorry.
We're not on that island.
Just a question.
Yes.
Shurva would have been there when we got the note from Tanuk to check out the temple.
Possibly. I've ruled that because Bree wasn't here, Shurva wasn't paying attention.
Yep, I can see
It's
that.
the easiest way to explain why Bree doesn't know it, I thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I figured that at that point, Shurva's just like looking at Mako and thinking like of all the different ways he could die and like how probably 60% of those she could prevent.
Yep.
As you sit down in the cold bowl, essentially, of ice, Kurok gets behind and begins pushing forwards. He creates like a little handle behind it and pushes, sort of skating behind it. Shurva, it is very bumpy. There's no shock absorption. It's a solid bowl of ice. You are like as you go along, being bounced around inside this thing. As he comes to the edge of one bit of sea ice, there's a little crevasse. He like goes around it. It spins to the side. You just get thrown over to the side as you feel your head almost like crack against the ice. You have to like hold yourself still. You're clutching on for dear life at this point, having never experienced anything quite like this. Shurva, could I get you to please roll a push your luck roll? I just want to see how well.
See if I'm gonna fall out.
Just want to see how well you do.
That's very promising.
I just want to see what happens. 6 failure.
Ooh.
Alright.
Shurva,
Oof.
I'm going to need you to mark a condition.
Okay.
Your choice, but I would say that probably embarrassed kind of fits
Foolish.
potentially, or foolish. Yeah, is embarrassed one? I'm looking that up. Foolish is the one I'm thinking of. I think
As foolish or insecure?
insecure. Probably not insecure. I think foolish kind of makes sense in the context of you being
I think so.
pushed along in a giant bowl of ice by a waterbender. He does his best, but unfortunately, it's not very comfortable.
Yeah.
You make quick progress. Being quite light, even with your heavy armor, you're not a whole sled with like 4 people on it. You are quick to move across the ice, and you can take pathways that the boys could not because of that lightness. Kurok is able to actually move around and skip sections that they had to like sort of move around to avoid. He's actually able to waterbend and move across those sections that they had to skip through. Before too long, you can actually see that they have parked the sled underneath a large iceberg, and it looks like they're very slowly trying to ascend up the side of the iceberg. You can also see Aal flying around overhead. It looks like he's flying from another iceberg, flying back towards this main one. And you can see that he lands on top of the larger iceberg that they're heading up to. On the top of this 50, 60 meter tall iceberg, you can see a large wooden structure, almost a Taoist temple if you were to compare it to our world. A layered temple with steps heading up to the top of it. Is it a tiered temple? Is that what I'm looking for? A wooden tiered temple or a wooden pagoda? A pagoda style temple is what I'm looking for. Pagoda style temple. But it has fallen into disrepair. The cold and the ice have prevented the wood from rotting, but you can see where the continued thawing and freezing has shattered some of the wooden beams. Parts of the temple have collapsed. And the place gives you a bit of an eerie vibe. There's something off about it. You can see that parts of it are sort of semi-frozen into the iceberg. As Kurok gets a little bit closer, he glances off to the side from the iceberg that Aal had left from and notices a boat tied up. That is Ahini's boat. As he sort of comes to a stop and you're like, bounce to a slow stop. That is Ahini's boat. I thought you said Oki and Ahini were not with them.
As far as I knew, they weren't. I don't think they know that they're here.
Perhaps we should alert them to what the boys are up to.
I
If
think
you-
so, just in case something goes wrong with the spirits.
If you want to continue on foot, there's not many ice, sort of sections of sea ice to cross. The bridge is intact. If you want to head that way, I will try and alert Ahini and Oki. We will meet you at the base of the iceberg.
Okay, no problem.
Shurva, you take off at a run. Your legs are very stiff from being inside this thing and being bounced around. You're not feeling great. The foolish is definitely catching up as like you're almost a little bit like stiff as you're trying to run in your armor, and you're finding that you're just like not. I don't know. It's a weird experience, that sort of feeling of like your legs having a bit of pins and needles as you try and run and being quite uncomfortable. But before too long, you make it to the base of the iceberg. We're going to switch to Oki, and then we'll have you two join up in a minute. Oki, after everything that went down with Aquila, you decide to take a little bit of time to yourself. Initially not really wanting to talk to anyone, see anyone, Ahini convinces you that probably the best thing to do is to go and have a bit of exploration time. Maybe go check up on your old base that was out of the icebergs in the outer section of the sea ice. You can tell Ahini is trying to distract you at this point. She knows you don't want to talk about it, or she senses that you probably don't want to talk about it. She's just giving you some space, and she knows that you probably want a bit of space away from the boys. So Ahini
Why would
takes.
you want that?
I don't know, man.
It makes no sense.
Makes no sense. I can't think of any reason why.
The boys are the boys.
Yeah, that's it. Ahini takes you down towards the docks, gets you into her canoe, doesn't really say too much to you, knows that you probably want a bit of silence, and begins paddling out quietly towards the outer sea ice. She takes you around the edge of the floating icebergs. You can see there are some in the distance, and you two begin looking for your iceberg. After a while, silence. Ahini sort of coughs politely. Oki, I just want you to know that if you wanted to talk about any of this, I'm here. And no one else is. She like points to the endless sea all around you.
I don't know. I mean, it's just all kind of insane, isn't it?
That's a word for it? Yeah.
What? Yeah. Who's gonna be the seer now? Like, I mean, there's not a lot of time.
No, no, there's not. It's a bit concerning. I'm not sure. I did hear that there was a vote going on. The chief was going to be getting some of the elders together, and they were going to make a decision about what they wanted to do. It kind of sounded like that they'd lost their trust in the whole idea of having a seer. I'm going to call Tarnak to account for his training and how he allowed this to happen with Aquila. I don't know, Oki. I kind of get the sense that you're about to be released from your duties as seer to the Water Tribe. It just doesn't feel like... It feels like there's a lot of anger, and it feels like the seers are going to be scapegoated for it.
I never kind of wanted to be seer in the first place, but, you know, I mean, shame about the whole hierarchy thing, but, you know, a good bunch of, you know, good work the seers have done recently, myself included, like,
Well,
you know, maybe the place is better off without them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pleased that you take it as good news. It means you can keep adventuring and exploring with your friends. Looks like you had a lot of fun. Hey, at least you got to learn some cool waterbending out of it.
Very true. Very true. I was not stuck at home, just learning healing, which is decent. I mean, the world kind of did be put in jeopardy, but, you know, surely that's like just a one-off thing. You know, what are the chances that it would happen again?
Without the Avatar, without Roku, I don't know. It feels like everything's out of balance at the moment. Maybe it's just me. I'm thinking.
I got no answer to that.
No, I don't think it's something we can answer. Well, it's good. I was meaning to tell you this, but I didn't know how to. But now it seems like it's not going to be too much of a bad thing. I'm thinking of heading back to the Southern Water Tribe. I've had a good time in the north, but I don't know. It's just not the place for me.
No, I understand, and if I was in a similar position, I would probably go with you.
Well, that was my next question. Why don't you? If you want
No,
to.
I guess.
It doesn't even have to be now. You can come meet me there later. But why not come to the south. The south is
I think I
safe.
will.
It's out of the way.
Yeah. No one's not gonna let me learn waterbending.
Yeah, no cultural
no-
hang-ups, no sex. Well, there's
Yeah.
probably still sexism. There's fucking sexism everywhere, but at least it's not so overt that it's like, you can't do this and you can't do that, right?
True. Very true. Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea.
Once
you
you're
know.
done with your adventure,
Or we all die trying, one or the other.
one or the other. Please not that one. Please the other.
Probably not, but if we all die trying, then the rest of the world probably will too. So, you know,
That's a
swings
great
and
thought.
roundabouts. Not that either of those things exist yet.
No, fair. Well, if you continue on your adventure, if you happen to check out, there's a big swamp right in the very middle of the, or right on the border of the Earth Kingdom. I've heard there's waterbenders there, a lost tribe. Might be something cool to check out.
Lost tribe means lost waterbending techniques, right?
That's what I'm hoping.
I mean, you could always come with us. You know, what's
Huh. I
another
hadn't
good
thought
pair of
about that.
hands?
Would you guys want me around? Like, I wouldn't want to be getting in the way.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen what we have to deal with? I mean, I guarantee you, we've turned our backs on those boys for 3 seconds. Something is going to blow up, probably within the next 45 minutes. Well, keep your eyes peeled for an explosion. I guarantee you there will be one.
And 3, 2, 1. And Heaney sort of like nods, sort of thoughtfully, and goes, "I'll have a think about it. Maybe. Yeah, I mean that could be fun. Maybe just for a little bit. If you guys are headed in a southward direction, I might come with you for a little bit of the journey, and then if you start to sort of deviate from heading to the South Pole, I can make my own way from there. Hey,
We're at the Northern Water Tribe. Literally everywhere is south from here.
that's a good point. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair." She gives you a playful punch on the arm. Yeah, all right, fair enough. All right. Oh, hey, I think is this the iceberg? That looks like your hitching post. And she brings the canoe around. You can see a section of wood jutting out from the side of an iceberg and some ice steps carved into it.
Oh, hell yeah. And I think Bolto probably jumps up and starts, heading on in for the old spot.
Bolto, yeah. So you're still a little bit of a paddle away. Bolto jumps off your shoulders into the water and begins like swimming through the water as quickly as he can. See a fin come up. No, that doesn't happen. I'm kidding. Bolto gets to the ice stairs, shakes himself off. You can see little ice crystals clinging to his fur as then he begins jumping up, like almost like a it's like a ferret jump. They do like that movement, that sort of like rippling jump movement. He sort of does that up the stairs and disappears from sight. As Ahini brings in and like hitches the boat to the side of this post, he begins climbing out. I think, hey, it's looking pretty good, right? I thought you said the iceberg. Well, no, I thought the iceberg had flipped. I think this wasn't the iceberg that had flipped. I reckon you're not the only one with a secret base out in the icebergs.
Is this someone else's secret base that's not really secret anymore? Or was it someone else's iceberg that flipped?
Your name's carved in the hitching post, look. She points down, you can see you've carved like a rough Oki, same as on your oar.
Oh? I don't know whose face got flipped, but I'm glad it wasn't mine.
Yeah, look, hey, I'm pleased to be wrong. It happens. I'm pleased this time.
Wait, how long ago did it flip? Apparently.
Well, it was before I headed out to catch up with you lot, so a couple of weeks.
Since the wish.
What?
Sorry, I was talking to myself. It's a lot of random stuff happened and then didn't happen all at once. And I'm still trying to sift out what was caused by what.
I'm gonna pretend to understand that and nod. That sounds good, Oki. Ahini climbs out of there, begins walking up the steps. You coming?
That's about my understanding of it too, and she follows.
The steps lead up outside the edge of the iceberg before moving through a tunnel that's been carved through the center of it. You can see that the tunnel has actually shrunk a bit. It looks like it's actually partly frozen back over, indicating that potentially the iceberg was actually submerged for a little bit, or at least this section was submerged and has then come back up again to be refrozen. As you reach the top, you can see embedded into the side of the iceberg is a small wooden structure. The front door looks to have been somewhat damaged. It looks like it's actually swollen and frozen partly off its hinges. You can see where the wood has splintered and shattered. As Ahini sort of like uses a bit of water bending to crack the ice and pull the door open, has a peek inside. Oh, it's a bit of a mess in here, Oki. I'm really sorry.
It was always a mess. It probably, how different could it be?
As you look inside, you can see that ice covers most of the surfaces. It looks like it has partly frozen inside. It has gotten wet and then been exposed to the cold. Everything's frozen to everything else. It looks like everything's jumbled around as if everything's been like thrown about the room as well. Your bed is frozen to the ceiling, the wrong way up. You can see where once was a little portable stove, a little cast iron stove. The metal has warped and cracked, is filled with water and then been frozen. It's full of ice. But most of the storage seems to be intact. It's actually frozen solid, and as you pull it open and crack the ice and open it, you can see inside some of your clothes and furs are still there, covered in a layer of frost and ice.
Cold storage.
Cold storage, exactly.
But, I mean, other than the place looking like it's being ransacked and the bed being stuck to the roof, it honestly actually isn't that different.
You hear a rattle from the stove as Bolto pokes his head up out of the teapot, looks around, and then goes back inside the teapot again. Well, do you want to start cleaning it up a bit? What would you like to do?
Any point? I mean, if you're leaving, you know, I'm probably gonna leave after all this is sort of said and done. I think more, is there anything important that, like, she may have left behind in the base?
That's up to you. That's up to you. There could be some things. There might be some keepsakes from your childhood, some items or gifts that you've been given that you might want to keep. Probably fishing line and hooks that you didn't bother taking with you to the Earth Kingdom because you're like, when am I going to get a chance to fish?
Yeah.
So probably your fishing supplies.
Just the general survival, anything keepsakey, you know, that she sort of got space for. I guess she'd bring with her.
Yeah. And maybe some pieces of jewelry that you didn't bring with you as well. That might be there as well. And let's say as well your grandmother's engagement necklace as well that you have after she passed. It's more of a keepsake for you.
Inventory.
Add it to your inventory. It's a thing. Next session, she's going to sell it for blankets or something. This beloved keepsake that I've kept in my family for one session. Here we are. It's worth 5 gold, right? Yeah, great. Oki, as you're doing this, a shadow passes outside. And as you peek and look out, you could have sworn for a second you saw a flash of orange, but it's gone now. What is it? What's up?
There, I saw something like, you know, have you ever been traveling with someone for so long that when you're finally alone, you swear you see them even though they're not there?
Sure. I mean, I've not traveled that long with people where that's happened, but yeah, sure. You thought you saw something swooping?
I saw flying orange, so I just thought it was, the airbender that we were traveling with.
Oh, might be an albatross
that'd be impossible.
eagle.
They're all the way out here.
Yeah, it could be an albatross eagle. They do hunt pretty far out to sea. And if it's got something orange, maybe it's caught a salmon or something. We might have disturbed its roost. Could have been hanging out at your place. I'm not seeing any feathers and bird shit though, so she has a bit of a look around. A few moments later, Oki, you hear the sound of ice cracking, and then suddenly bursting through the door is Korra. Quick, you need to come quickly. I think your friends are doing something stupid. Oh, hey Korra, great to see you too. Thanks for knocking. We might have been changing in here. I'm very sorry. He walks back out, knocks on the door. May I come in? And he's like, don't look at me, it's not my house. He looks at you, Oki. Oki, may I please come in?
Come on in, what are they doing this time?
Steps in. I think your friends are in trouble. It seems they have found Aquila, and they are headed towards the old temple.
And that could happen.
I brought Shurva with me, and she is at the bottom of the iceberg, probably by now. We should head there and assist her to get to the top.
Then leave them there to die. Sounds like a good plan.
That is an option. I would rather not do that, obviously. I thought these were friends of yours. Oh, you are kidding.
Yeah, kidding. Practical jokes tag, you know me.
Heaney gives you a look and then goes, but it's too quick a death by spirits. Death by being frozen in a block of ice and set to drift at sea. Just saying.
If the spirits don't, that'll be their outcome anyway. I'm also assuming that this conversation is as we're heading over there.
Yeah. That is pretty dark, Aini, even for you. Yeah, well, what can I say? You guys rush down the stairs. Korok using a form of waterbending that you are very impressed with. As he gets to the top of the stairs, Oki, he turns his foot in place and pushes down, and the stairs flatten into an ice slide. He then grabs Ahini and helps her, and then pushes her down and reaches to take your hand to help you down the slide and give you a bit of momentum. Place your right hand on the wall and use your waterbending to maintain some surface tension, and you will slide down in a spiral.
Fun. She tries to get a running jump.
Yeah. Could I have a running jump, you say? I was going to ask for skills and training, but it's just become a push your luck situation. I'm sure it'll be fine. We've only had great rolls tonight. Oh, mixed success, and you're fine. You slide down this thing like an otter penguin. Not even bothering with your hands. You put your hands behind you and use them to help control your movement backwards as you slide down rapidly on your front. You hear the scrabble of tiny paws behind you as you launch, and your tiny little pet jumps in amongst your hood and just gets in time as you take off down this slide. With the wind in your hair and much, much closer to the surface, you catch up to Ahini very quickly and then crash into the back of her as she is sitting upright and you are lying down. As Ahini goes, ah! You push into her and you both begin sliding down rapidly, pushing out onto the ice, tumbling and rolling and falling over, getting snow all up in your hood and in your face. Behind you, rather unfairly, you see Korok skating down very gracefully on one leg, one hand up against the side of the ice wall as he comes down and then steps onto the ice and looks at you guys. What happened? Are you okay?
We took the fun way.
Ah, yes. Your friends, mortal danger. Are we running this way?
Yeah, I guess so. Doing that half walk jog.
Yeah, that's it. You guys very quickly catch up to Shurva at the base of the iceberg. Shurva, you can see that the polar bear dogs that they've left behind are having a great time and recognize you as you come up and give you a big hello, licking at your face, pawing at your clothes, looking for any snacks or treats you might have on you. I don't think you do have any food on you though, so they do find themselves a bit disappointed after a few moments trying to sniff and find food, and calm down quite quickly. You've probably got about 2 minutes by yourself at the base of this iceberg. Is there anything you wanted to do? No, cool, easy. No, fair enough. For podcast
Something I can think of.
She's shaking her head real slow. And really slight enough that it took
I
me a
was
moment.
really thinking hard, and nothing came.
She shut down all other functions of her body to focus on brain power.
Hold breath.
Just no ideas.
Yeah.
You just have a bit of a pat of the polar bear dogs, give them a bit of a scritching, and then the others catch up to you, Ahini, Korok, and Oki. As they get to the base, Ahini looks at Korok and goes, stairway to heaven? Yes, I think that is best. And then they both begin pushing upwards with the ice. The section of ice sheet that you're standing on cracks underneath your feet and then begins rapidly moving up the side of the iceberg. Shurva, you're reminded a little bit of your experience in the ice toboggan, being sort of bumped around a little bit. But with both Ahini and Korok working together, this is much, much smoother and very quick. You guys get to the top of the iceberg in about 10 seconds as they both begin pushing up. If Rung was here, it would remind him very much of an earthbending technique, but he's not, so it doesn't. You guys get to the top of the iceberg really quickly, just in time to see the gang looking at this temple. From this angle, you can see the doors have been broken off their hinges, frozen and shattered against the ground, and inside looks partially collapsed. As they sort of lean up to look in, you can kind of hear a little bit of a conversation. It sounds like they're a bit apprehensive to go in. And then Al pushes Mako. Mako stumbles forward and sort of stumbles forward into the room. Immediately, the torches inside the temple flare to life with this white-blue flame, and you watch as the doors rise off the ground, attach to their hinges, and slam shut, sealing Mako inside the temple. Shurva, you say?
I'm trying to remember the exact wording. I'm pretty sure it was, what the fuck have you done now?
That's close enough. as the rest of you turn around and see Shurva, Oki, and Kurok standing there. Kurok looking in a little bit of horror, Ahini looking with a bit of like a, oh my god, what the fuck have they done face, like a bit of a cheeky, like, oh shit face. And Oki looking at, fair to say, just glaring at Aquila.
It'd be 50% glaring at Aquila, the other 50% just smug satisfaction of what she had predicted came true.
Inside the temple, I hear slight disappointment.
Yeah.
Can I just say, chat are like, nah, that waterbending technique wouldn't remind Rung of earthbending, it would remind him of Korra. 100% correct. Well done. It's hilarious.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jedi Muffin. That's great. I love that. Thank you, Jedi Muffin. And welcome to the live stream. Jedi's been watching on YouTube, and I've seen Jedi's been commenting a few times on YouTube. So thank you for joining us for the live stream. What time is it there for you? Because I think you're in the US, aren't you? I'm making a guess here. Most people are. Yeah. So as you guys sort of turn around, we are now caught up to the present. Everything is as it should be. Archie hasn't joined us yet, so I will play Aquila, and I gave him an hours long stall, so I will play as Aquila for this next little bit. Aquila sort of seeing Oki and anticipating potentially that he's about to have one of his arms removed, puts his arms behind his back, out of sight, and then goes, Oki, I just want to say I'm really sorry. First off.
That's all good, man. You know, you definitely don't need to be afraid. It's all good. It's all good.
He takes 2 steps backwards, sensing deceit.
NPC.
Come on, man. You don't have to hide your arms. I'm not coming for them anymore. Your legs, however, I might be. So,
he sits down heavily on his legs. Cross-legged, just in the snow, just sitting there with his arms behind his back. He's cross-legged and goes, I'm really...
Now that he is a ball of Aquila, can I freeze him over and then kick him like a soccer ball? I'm just like, whee!
It's good to see you guys
is
have
that what
sorted
you'd
out
like
your
to do?
problems here.
No, she's not.
Okay.
No, she is that mean, but I'm not going to do that to another PC.
Not while other people are watching.
Not while other people.
And he's not here to defend himself.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's just going to be Aquila bloodbends and you don't do that. So that's okay. No. As the temple doors have closed and you guys are talking, let's jump inside the temple. Mako.
No, we don't need to do that.
The white blue flames begin letting off these embers, almost like these little spirit lights that begin coalescing in the center of the room. You see a familiar form pulling itself out of the embers. A fox spirit, but larger than you remember. And this time with 4 tails. Previously you've only seen it with 1 or 2, this time with 4 tails, as they begin whipping backwards and forwards.
So do you like double every time, or like what's happening here?
You see the spirit's mouth curl back in a snarl, and this low growl emanates through the temple. Outside, you guys hear this as well. As it stares down Mako. What was that, right?
I was just trying to do like his scream.
I think it got... Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty pathetic. Probably about right.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Yep.
He's a noble, so it's like,
If it isn't the consequences of your actions.
Look, the bridge is going to cross.
The fox spirit makes 2 or 3 steps towards you, growling, its tails whipping backwards and forwards. Mako, you can see that its body is shifting and moving like on fire. This white-blue flame moving around it, but it's not hot. Freezing cold emanates off its body, to the point where you immediately begin finding your chest tighten as your breath comes in bursts and steam coming out from your nose with every breath.
I'm sorry. I'm backing up towards the door. I'm just sort of like knocking on the door like, please let me out, please let me out, please let me out.
You guys hear that through the doors. Korra runs forwards. Yes, sorry, Al?
Is there a way to open it from the inside? Mako, I didn't expect it to close. I am so sorry for pushing you.
It was a spur of the moment.
Why are you smiling when you say that?
I thought it was funny at the time.
It was
still
pretty
is.
funny at the time.
Still is very funny.
You hear like this, guys, from inside the temple. Korra rushes forward and begins trying to sort of push this shard of ice to push the doors open. Mako, you feel the sharp pain in the back of your spine, and as you pull yourself away from the doors, you see this shard of ice pushing its way through the gap in the doors, trying to force them open.
I take a steps forward, but also like trying to go sideways to avoid the giant angry fox spirit that wants to eat me alive.
Yeah. What are the rest of you guys doing? I know what Marco's doing. Marco is trying to, I think it's safe to say, evade and observe. We're not in necessarily combat yet.
Dirt or soil on this iceberg?
No,
perhaps.
It's an ice. I'll give you a hint. It's in the name. It's an iceberg.
You need
not
to
a
carry
dirt
around
berg.
a pouch of rocks.
Can Rung
Yeah.
dig deep and see if he can bend the dirt in the ice? If not,
Yeah.
he might just run.
Rung digs deep and finds sea ice. As you reach out for soil and you find yourself in the middle of the ocean on an iceberg. No
Guys,
dirt
this
or
is
rocks
useless.
here. Just
The
like
powers are nothing here.
Just like how waterbenders need to take a flask of water with them wherever they go, Rung is now starting to realize that perhaps there is some merit to that for earthbenders when they are on the
I'm just
ocean.
gonna carry like a little sack of dirt wherever I
Just
go.
carry some rocks, you dumbass. Like people do when they use a sling. Why are you making this into a thing that sounds ridiculous? Just have a bag of rocks. That's the least ridiculous thing Rung would have done this entire campaign. Make it coal if you have to.
If we start doing this, we're going to get the territory of using rocks as projectiles, and we're going to make guns, and things are going to go.
Is that not what Rung would do?
Actually, probably should. That's a smart idea. Write that down. Can you at least try and like help him like push this like shard of ice in, like give it a big boot and see if he can like force the wedge through to do anything like that?
Absolutely. Oki?
That seems smarter.
So the door's made of ice?
The doors are made of wood, but they have slammed shut under the force of this. Oh, and the other thing as well, I should say, I did forget this. Over the top of the doors is a figurehead of a fox. Its eyes are glowing with this blue flame.
Huh.
Does it
Are
say
the
speak
walls
friend and you may
next to
enter?
the door?
Made of
Oh,
wood.
sorry.
All made of wood. The front, so the temple's made of wood, but parts of it have got a layer of ice freezing into it. But you can see a couple of levels up, it's partially collapsed, the roof is partially collapsed. There could potentially be a way in there. Do you want to make a assess the situation check? I can give you some more information.
Assess the situation. I need to find it.
What was that, Dave?
I just read Oki's message. Ellie's
It's a
message.
pull door.
It's a pull door. It's good.
Yeah.
She said that, but she hasn't done anything about it. All right, 2 questions, Oki. What would you like to know?
So first of all is the areas near where Mako disappeared, are they covered in ice or do they appear somewhat flammable?
The whole temple is, as I said, made of wood, but there are sections where the ice is frozen onto it, making a covering. The temple is flammable, potentially. You know that the ice and water will have frozen and soaked through the wood. It is not going to burn very easily.
Also, I'm on the inside.
I don't think she
Yeah.
worries about that.
Oh,
so
okay.
Here to calm the spirits, not burn down the temple. Just also. Just...
So I guess question number 2
Oh,
is
right, yeah.
a way in.
Is there a way in? That's very vague. Do you want to...
Or, there's this opening that, we sort of saw on that second story.
You can see there are sections where the roof
Is
and upper
there sort of
balcony
a-
has partially collapsed. There might not be a way in yet, but that section is higher up. That section's higher up, which means that it's less likely to have that layer of ice freezing to the surface of it. There could be a way that you could push your way through up above. Definitely. I will say as well, though, Oki, spooky statue with glowing fire eyes. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, why didn't you ask a question about that?
It's a damn good put away marker in your objective.
Can we burn it?
This statue literally has flaming eyes, this white blue flame in its eyes, and it's this statue above the door. Bit weird. You've not seen anything like that before. That's spooky. That's an 8 out of 10.
What am I gonna do with a spooky door head? What am I gonna do? Put water on it?
Please?
I don't know.
Try.
That's up to you.
Try.
I'm just here to give you the information and describe the scene.
Alright, I guess noticing the fire in the eyes. Do I have time to try and put the fire out from the eyes?
Oh yeah, sure. You can. It's pretty simple waterbending to just throw some water up at the statue. Would you like to do that?
in my extensive spirit training.
You're half
so
an hour
would
with
I-
Aquila.
Yeah, would I think that that's a bad idea?
Not necessarily. You do get the sense that I will say this, thinking back to your spirit training, you know that spirits, while bending can affect them, it can affect them in unusual ways. And this is burning with blue-white flame, which is a bit weird already.
Does Aquila look like he wants me to put water on it?
Aquila looks like he's in the process of making a giant ice lance. And he's aiming it at a heat. No. you turn, Aquila's gone. Aquila's just pieced out. He's just thrown himself off the iceberg. When in doubt.
Shit, not again.
This is good music.
I think she might just take a page out of Aquila's book then and see if she can skewer an ice lance through the top of the door.
Nice.
And then, we can just disappear the ice and there'll be a hole there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're aiming for the top of the door, did you say, or the statue?
Sort of like midway down. She doesn't want to hit Mako, but she doesn't know where he is, so she's aiming for slightly taller
a little
than
bit
he
higher.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fling your javelin forwards, it spears into the door with this cracking sound. Could I get you to roll me a skills and training roll? I just want to see how effective this ice lance is. This music's perfectly timed now. I got some intense. 11 for success. 2 11s in a row.
11s.
Oki's doing well. Oki, your ice lance cracks through, gouging out a section of the door. The ice lance doesn't embed itself. It goes right through the door. Mako, above you, you hear this, and you see a shard of ice, this massive lance made of ice, go over your head, probably by about 10 or 20 centimeters, much closer than you would like, as it flies overhead and smashes into a pillar above the fox with as it passes through the area of the fox, you see that frost grows along this ice lance length, creating these like crystal jagged spikes off of the lance as it smashes into the post.
Cute.
Oki, yeah, part of the door has been cracked open. Not big enough to get through, but definitely you are breaking down the door. Rung, we asked what you couldn't do last time. Shall we discuss what you can do?
Kick the big wedge of ice that Kurok is.
Absolutely. Could you roll me a skills and training roll, please? Because you are proficient in kicking things.
Yes. It's my favorite thing to do. Skills and training. Where to put it?
Wrong smash.
Wrong smash.
It's gonna be like last time with that whole situation, the portal with Aquila, where like that shard of ice goes around, Rung just headbutts and goes, like right in Aquila's face.
Yes.
11 full sixes. Holy shit!
But I
you
get
guys-
2 6s.
That's right.
Oh, those
You
11s.
get another chance. You're coming up. I reckon you get a good roll this time. Rung, you just kind of kick the shard of ice that Kurok has created. Kurok is very surprised by this and like falls backwards as you just run and go and kick this shard of ice. It smacks through the door, cracking open the lower section. Mako, between your legs, this shard of ice, because he's kicking from down low. Originally it was up at around your back level, but as Rung kicks it, it drops down right between your legs, 5 centimeters away from a place you do not want that shard of ice to be. This section of ice pushes through between the middle of your legs and like has you like basically trapped sitting above it as you are like in position
Now
as
I'm
you
trying to
sit down
think.
on the ice. Yeah,
What's a better death, ice or fox? I can't tell.
you can't tell.
Friendly fire or fox?
The
Nearly
shard of
made
ice
you a
is like
Mako kebab.
It's their plan all along.
the shard of ice is partially kicked through. Shurva, there is now a big enough gap in the door that you can see Mako. He looks terrified, I think is safe to say at this stage, and you can see what is causing his fear. Through the shattered planks of wood, this ghostly fox, comprised of blue-white flames, stalks him, moving cautiously and carefully, but eyes never drifting from Mako.
Okay, I have 4 ideas
4 ideas. Oh my god.
of what we
Four.
could do.
She's had this whole time
okay?
just like
I've been thinking.
Dragon
That's
Ball
more
Z
than-
power up her brain.
They all rely on some questions. So how did the door close? Like, is it like a down? Is it like...
It looks like it
Hold
opens
on.
inwards. hinges are arranged in a way that the door opens inwards.
Okay. Idea 1 won't work.
We're gonna get to the end of these 4 questions, and she's gonna be like, "Fuck."
Okay, the other 3, I need feedback on to know if they're even good ideas.
Yes.
So, okay. One of them is I could use my whip to get up to the second story if there is a
Yes.
part that I can hook onto, and I can
Yes,
potentially
absolutely there is.
break through the ceiling
Yes.
in.
I will say now, the temple has outcroppings and guardrails
Yeah,
that you can.
it's
It's a pagoda. It's a pagoda
weird.
style. You can easily
Yep.
whip up and pull yourself up. Absolutely.
The 2
So that
Fire
would
Nation
get me and
members can die.
Al in because Al would be able to fly up and we can break through. The only thing is that won't get the
Potentially.
others in. So that's a potential idea. Another idea is I can coat my whip in some of my flammable oils and
Yes.
try to whip up into the eyes of the thing above us that is on fire, put my whip on fire,
Ooh,
and start burning the door down by lashing at it with fire.
fantastic.
Or I can just call out to Mako and tell him to put the door on fire and all the waterbenders will stop the entire place from burning down. What
Look,
do you guys think? There are some
Absolutely.
options for getting in.
So in D&D, this kind of thing's not super encouraged, but in Avatar Legends, it absolutely is. You guys are working as a team. 100%. This is how it works in Avatar Legends. So please feel free to discuss with the team.
Al likes the idea of going in. Al was never going to take a violent approach against the spirits, so getting in and trying to calm the fox spirit, or at least get away so we can get out of the temple after we get in with Mako.
Because are you
So I
strong
like the
enough
idea
to
of
be
being
able
on
to
top.
pull Mako out if we get in?
No, but if he jumped, I might be strong enough to blow some wind underneath him and maybe get him up.
I'll can blow some wind up his
He's
ass. Don't
pretty
you
frail.
worry.
Like, he's light and
I can
frail
launch
and
him, that's
scrawny
probably
and
the
tiny.
Oh yeah, I am
Pick him
a
up.
skinny man.
Yeah,
I'm saying this loud so you can hear through the door.
he looks very launchable.
It looks
My-
launchable.
My ego is getting destroyed before I am.
I mean,
That's
I
very
could also jump up there and then use my whip to reach down,
Pull
pull
him
him up.
Yep, and Al can assist pushing him up towards the whip.
Yeah.
Option.
So that's an option. Or we can use one of the other 2 ways to burn the door down. But that's not gonna make the spirit very happy.
Yeah.
But it will get access for all of us in there,
Okay.
including the 2
Maybe-
seers.
Maybe it fucking hates doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other option is to use your whip and dangle Mako above the box's reach as bait, like a carrot, while we try to.
I mean, how much progress have we made for this door with like the wedge we've put through there? Is it,
You've,
like, a
you've
little
created 2 large cracks.
Ooh, 2 large cracks, guys. If we
Yeah.
get another one, we could put like another pike up in there, and we could hit that one, and then we hit
So-
another. We basically
okay.
mine minerals the same
Question.
way. We're pretty much forming the line of load up this wall here. We
If
could
it
do
started
this.
with like
Dynamite.
about like 10 planks, how many planks would you say are left?
You want me to give you a percentage of door? Is what
How
you're asking for.
fatigued does the door look?
Yeah, how fatigued
The
does it
door
look?
has marked the condition insecure. It doesn't feel secure anymore. It's got 2 holes in it.
Does the door look? Does the door look bloody at all?
No.
Yeah,
There's-
it doesn't
on,
look
account of lacking that important item, blood.
Does it feel foolish?
No,
Sappy.
but the door has 2 large cracks in it. If I had to give it a percentage of damage, it has been damaged 20%. But it doesn't have to be 100%. 100% is destroyed. The door is gone. There is nothing left. It is an open door.
There just needs to be a man-sized hole.
Do
Or
we
a
try
boy-sized
water on
hole.
the spooky goblin?
Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
I think we decided against it in case it's frustrated the spirits more. While Marco's
see it. How's it
stuck
There's
in
already
there
a hole
with
in it.
one.
Just saying.
Yeah, Marco's there. It's already frustrated already. I think we
I
have to
will
give it
say,
a crack.
when you guys arrived, the door had been broken off its hinges and was lying shattered in the snow. When Mako was pushed inside, the door reassembled itself and attached itself back onto its hinges. It literally was
trap.
lifted up and attached
It's a
back.
trap.
So there's a chance that it can repair itself?
I was more kind of indicating that if the spirit was cross about the door being broken down, it hadn't done anything about it until Mako entered. And it clearly had the
Yeah,
power
fair.
to.
It had a guess. It had
Okay,
to clean up its
well-
house.
I'm being a
I-
nice DM. I'm giving some indications that You seem very concerned that the door might offend the spirit. I would say
I mean, the door's already feeling insecure, so like...
I would say you have more pressing concerns.
All right, I'm going
This is a
to
rental. No.
jump up and try to break through the freaking.
All right. So Shurva, can I get you to roll me a skills and training as you whip up?
Please, give me something good.
It's a shame. It's a shame you didn't whip the fox head thing, because I can reveal now that move would have been called Cool Whip as your special move,
nice.
because it doesn't.
Nice.
It's a cold fire, so you would have Cool Whip. Cool Whip, Brian. Cool Whip, Brian. Cool Whip.
Why are you saying like that? Quit.
Saying
I
what,
can't catch a break.
saying what like how, Brian? 5 Shurva. Oh no. Shurva, as you like whip your whip up to catch on, and then you go to pull yourself up. Part of it is like your arms and legs have gone a bit to sleep in that little ice toboggan, the bobsled. As you go to pull yourself up, you're just like, and then as you
I
do,
have great ideas, but terrible execution.
the section of plank that you've attached onto just shatters, flies down, and smacks you in the head. Just sort of like rub your head. I need you to mark a fatigue. I'm so sorry.
I'll seize this, and he jumps up, and he motions to he motions for you
Heaney
to
and
throw the
Akila
whip
have
up
not
to
yet
him.
done stuff, just so you know. Heaney and Akila have not yet had their moves yet, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll jump up, and it's like Shurva, pass me the other end of your whip.
8.
Eight.
Yeet.
Turn Scottish.
Well, we've got some,
And
we've got some
then-
puns in chat. Let's hope Shurva doesn't get cold feet.
Okay.
Sorry, Al, carry
I'll
on.
seize. Is there somewhere that Al can put like the whip over and kind of like jump down the other end and like kind of like pulley her up?
Oh, how long is this whip? Not that long.
How high is the
That-
door?
It's like 2 meters tall. It's a big door.
That's a big door. That's massive.
It is. It's a temple door. I described this
Okay.
temple as huge.
Okay. I'll secure the end of the whip.
Hang on.
So,
I also, Dave, 2 meters.
Yeah.
I'm 180 centimeters. You're what? You're 175 centimeters, right?
70, 170. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 meters is only 30 more centimeters. It's not that
It's a
big.
full ruler, man. That's like.
I would like to point out that my whip is 5 meters long
It's not though.
as a standard whip.
Is it actually?
A standard whip.
Is this how long is a whip? We're gonna ask this question.
5 meters, yeah.
A standard whip is between 1 and 6 meters.
Is it really?
What?
Oh my god!
A
What
whip.
the hell? That's
I
huge.
know it.
All right, never mind. I retract my statement.
How do you think I've been grabbing people by the legs when they're standing away from me and yanking them across the place?
6 meters is a
Just
really
an
long
arm's
whip,
reach.
though. Okay,
Yeah,
but
because
3
when I was
meters-
originally writing my sheet, I was
Isn't-
like, oh, a whip is a really good long range and short range weapon, but I won't make it a full 6 meters.
just in my mind, I was
Feels
like,
like-
your whip was like maybe 3 meters long tops.
What, this?
That's 30 centimeters. Come on. All right.
Like a school ruler.
Yeah, like
5 meters is huge.
Okay. So I'll take that back. Absolutely. Her whip is hella long. Is the scientific terminology. It's a 5 meter long whip. Absolutely, you can do this. As you grab the other end and pull down, you try and jump through the top of the roof.
Al is first of all he gets the whip and he's like, I never realized how long this was.
Yeah.
it's a lot of oil.
You got to make sure you grip that shaft tightly. You don't want it to slip through.
Length matters in this case.
Yeah.
She
She hasn't oiled it up yet either, so it's going to be a bit of
What is the
friction if
texture
you
of
let
this
go.
whip?
It's very leathery.
It's leather.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's braided leather.
It's braided leather, like catch the oil. So like the tip of it is
It has. I can't remember if it was. No, you said I couldn't have metal tips,
You
so
couldn't
it's
have-
like a.
just
It's
because
a
it's a bit dark
just a
for
knot.
Avatar.
It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
knot tip.
Yeah. It's knotted at the tip.
Basically
yeah.
the evil dude of like A Knight's Tale who like just like puts a metal tip in his lance.
Oh.
Chad has said the whip is bigger when you're in danger. I love that. That's great. Yeah, Shurva's there just like, yeah, danger.
Oh, but if it was a metal tip, I could have heated it up.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why we said it wasn't allowed to be metal,
Well,
because we didn't
the
want to brand anyone
The
with
other
it.
reason we also said that
Yeah.
is because Avatar is a very kid-friendly experience, and attaching a shard of sharp metal to your whip that would carve through people's flesh and I would have to describe you like severing their tendons and things like that on a frequent basis. I thought,
Yeah.
it's a bit dark. Can we stick to something?
Instead, we'll
Because
just go with
originally it
what we've
was
got.
going to have a few tips, and they were all going to
Yeah.
be metal, and then I was told no.
Yeah.
What if she was just
So
like?
I went with setting it on
not the
fire
Punisher.
instead.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
That's
the
okay,
dude that like would punch people with a ring and leave a ring mark on them? Who am I thinking of?
Oh,
No.
Phantom. Yeah. What if it was like the Phantom? Like she whips them and like brands them, and they're like, oh, and they just get knocked out.
Kids show.
So Al feeds it over any horizontal plank that he can find, and like jumps down from the. Well, can I get down to where Mako is from up
Yeah,
here?
absolutely. As you get up to the roof, you can see that part of the roof is actually caved in. There is a section that you could slide through in between the beams. That's
Okay.
big enough to just drop through the ceiling. Below, you can see that as you, like, if you drop down here, you're going to be landing right next to the fox.
Okay. Mako. Al yells before he jumps down. Shurva, hold on tight, and when I yell pull, I'm gonna tie it around Mako.
Okay.
Tie around the fox.
You hear Marco say that.
No.
That would be funny.
Counterpoint.
I'll
No.
try. Yeah. It's
She's
a
got you
nice
there,
whip.
mate.
Okay.
Can Rung?
He's
Yeah.
gone.
Rung's gone.
He's back.
Hello.
Cool. Rung, can you come grab the end of this whip with me just in case it takes 2 to pull him up?
Rung
All
has
right.
had a bit of a move, but as you say that,
Oh,
you
sorry.
see Aquila walk towards you,
Oh, that's right. I forgot he
crack his
exists.
knuckles, and go, I can probably use bloodbending to like lift Marco up from this side as well.
Can we not use forbidden bending once?
Can I get a
guess
say
I
in
can
this?
pull as well.
You can pull. I'll let you pull. That's it. I have so much distrust for you. You have no idea.
Fine.
When you say Al would land next to the fox, is it like by its side or like between Mako and the
By
fox?
its side, next to it, not in between it. I mean, you can angle yourself down and try and land in between it if you want.
Okay. I'll try to land between them.
Okay. Al, could I have you please roll me a push your luck roll? We have gone well beyond skills and training with this technique.
Can't he airbend himself slightly in the air?
He is, but he's still
To land better?
using luck to do this.
That's an 8.
Al, as you use airbending to spin yourself up towards the roof and then jump down inside, pushing the air currents to move yourself in between Mako and the fox. As you land, the fox sort of takes a bit of a startle as you suddenly just drop down next to it. You quickly tie the whip around Marco's waist. Shurva, you're like
I
partly
just throw the whip to Mako and say, tie it
okay.
around yourself.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'm not tying it for him. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's fine.
going like right to Mako and tying it around like.
Alright, fair. You just chuck the whip at his face. Marco, the whip just
Yeah.
whips you in the face. As Shurva's whip just like hits you in the face, you then grab it. The knots sort of whip it up into your mouth as you like then grab
That's
the
some
whip.
sort of turkey.
Thanks. I feel like we moved from implicit to explicit there, but that's okay.
To ducking, sorry. It has to be a mixed animal.
Shurva, as Al drops down, the whip reaches its full length, right? Because if the door's 2 meters high, it's 5 meters long, and it's going over the top. You're like slightly pulled up a little bit. Aquila comes, like wraps his arms around her waist and tries to like pull down on the other side.
Cute.
Okay.
Just trying to like, stop you flying up into the air into the building. It's just trying
Question.
to. Yes.
Yeah.
You said that there were like fires on the inside, like lanterns
There's
were lit.
4 torches, 4 sconces that have lit up with this white blue flame.
Blue.
Oh, sconces. That's a good word.
Thank you.
When I get to my okay, cool.
I
just
got
want-
sconces from my nonces. You're welcome.
Oh, big brain.
Big brain.
Googling that word.
Yeah,
And I didn't have to power down the rest of my body to activate it. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Sorry. Andrew,
Cool. It is me.
do you grab the whip?
I want to try something first.
Okay, absolutely.
I
I mean,
want to
these
see
people
if
are
I
going
can...
to so much effort to rescue you.
Oh, yeah,
It is
yeah,
important
yeah.
that you ignore what they do and say.
Yeah,
And,
100%. Like, otherwise it wouldn't be me, honestly.
Exactly, that's true. You wouldn't be playing to character.
Yeah, I want to try to firebend the sconces to turn them off.
So you want to try and use your firebending to extinguish the flame.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd say that's pretty basic firebending to try and extinguish flame. As you reach out and try and extinguish it with flame, because you're trying to put it out like fire, you try and make it lose that energy. Nothing happens.
Cool. Yep, I grabbed the whip.
Okay.
And I tug.
Mako.
I tug 3 times as like the signal. Pull me, pull me.
Perfect. Akila, Ahini also hasn't taken her move. Seeing what's happening over with Shurva and kind of seeing that potentially they might need some help, Ahini runs over as well and creates a hand out of ice that grabs hold of the whip just above you, Shurva. Like this arm of ice pulls forward, grabs it, and then she pulls as well using waterbending. Could I have Shurva? Could you please roll me a? What would this be? What am I going to make you?
Bye, Al.
roll?
Your problem now. Bye.
Basically. I think this falls under I think this is skills and training.
Okay.
You've trained as my bodyguard to get me out of all
And
situations.
I'll
this
do
being one of them.
Ahini and I'll also do Akila because all of you are working together. I'll take an average roll from all three.
Oh my
10
god.
for success.
A success.
Ahini's a 9, and Akila is a 9 as well. So all of you are successes. They're both mixed success, but still success. Average we out to about a 9, which is perfect. As you pull, Mako, your arms are nearly wrenched out of their sockets as you are just like reverse Mary Poppins up into the ceiling. As you reach the roof, because the whip is tied over the edge, you crash into the roof and are left sprawled half over, half in and half out of the building. Your legs and waist still inside.
Can I just like roll over to the other side where they all are? Like just like flop over.
So you're on the roof at the moment. So as you try and roll forwards, you then fall off the edge of the roof and onto the iceberg.
That's 100% okay.
I need you to mark a condition. I think foolish probably makes sense here.
Yeah, well, that's my life.
Your choice.
Yep.
As Mako like just face plants onto the snow and ice, still holding the whip in place, and then goes, "Thanks, guys." That's a full round of everyone doing stuff.
Yep.
Inside. The fox spirit watches as Mako just yeets out of the building through the roof, and then you hear this thump from outside, and the fox follows it the whole way through. You watch as it then turns and looks towards you, the growl sort of pulling back and abating slightly as it regards you curiously. What would you
Abating means like less growly.
Lesser, yeah.
Okay, sorry, my vocab. ESL. Okay, so I'll. He does the Jurassic Park thing. Jurassic World, where where Chris what's his name?
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Yeah, he's like whoa when the raptors are around him.
Okay.
And he's just like lowering himself.
Okay, make yourself less intimidating. Make yourself a bit smaller, a bit less of a target. Yeah.
And he doesn't approach.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't necessarily make eye contact, but like looks around the general direction, and just like shh, calm. We're not here. We're not here to attack you.
Could you please make a harmony roll for me?
Harmony. I am a very. What's the opposite of harmonious? Disharmonious?
Disharmonious.
Yeah, I'm a very disharmonious airbender.
Still roll pretty well though. So are you minus one? Are you
2 4s? I'm 0.
Yeah.
I'm flat.
Mixed success. The fox curiously sort of paces around, not getting closer to you, not getting further away. Its attention now fixed on you. So it sort of watches you through these dark blue eyes set on sort of light blue white flame. It slowly sits down because you crouch down. It crouches down too. Begins to sniff you cautiously.
When it sits down, I literally sit down, like go into legs crossed position.
Okay. It's sort of sniffing at you, a bit confused, not really sure what to make of you. Not sure what to make of your behavior either. It seems a little bit confused, a little bit lost.
I'll calmly, but as loud as he can, that the people outside can hear without startling the fox, says, I'm calming it down. Please do not attack the door or the fox right now. Please.
As
The
I
fact
should
that you
say-
have to beg because you know what our team is like.
I should say as well,
Rung's
as
running
soon
up.
as Mako left the building, you watch as the doors immediately collapse off their hinges and very slowly teeter in place. Still slightly held in place by Kurok's ice shard that he created that's sort of pushing through the middle. Kurok, hearing this, uses his ice bending to freeze the bottoms of the doors and very slowly push them up against the wall. Zahini helping him with this. As the doors open, you can see the fox is crouching down, looking at Aal curiously, sniffing at him. One of its paws, Aal, comes up and like bats at you, knocking you back a little bit as it comes up closer and sniffs. Almost playful, a
I
little bit
love
curious.
him.
Yeah.
Can we
I'll
keep
rolls
him?
on his back.
I don't know.
No.
Aal rolls on his back.
I'll fully submits. He frustrates himself.
The fox.
Oki, Aquila, you might want to start calming down the fox with waterbending.
Doing such a good job.
You should, like, it's a picture. You show the fox Al, you show the fox Mako. Which one will it kill?
I think it thinks I'm its bitch. Vixen, sorry.
Say Bree, whips in submission. And Ferris.
We got a
Let's start it.
submissive, we got whips. What kind of episode is this today?
You watch as the flames begin to solidify, as the fox takes on a more solid form, no longer this rage-filled avatar of flame. You watch as it takes on its true form, pure white fur, brushed back, as its solid form sort of pushes through its material plane, its feet now leaving paw prints on the ground in front of you. No longer does it have the 4 tails. The tails are fully split into 9, whipping backwards and forwards. Ice crystals attached to the outside of the fur, slowly shedding snow behind it. As the ears pull back, it gives a low whine and looks down at Aal, sitting in place.
This is a moment.
What happens if I stand up?
You don't know, because that would require knowledge of the future.
Okay, I stand up.
You watch as the fox bursts into flame, pouncing forwards, tearing through your throat. No. I'm kidding. You watch as the fox sort of looks up, but seems more curious again.
Oh, okay.
Not aggressive. There's a bit of a... You see its top lip curl slightly, its teeth on display once more, a bit of a snarl, but it doesn't move from its current position. It doesn't seem that intense aggression that you've seen before. It's more a warning to you, Mako, to stay back.
I'll be back at the sled, guys. See ya.
I'll let that the pan.
All the best.
Do you guys want to band and calm it down now, or is it like already calm? Is this Oki, Aquila, Spirit Seers?
Can you calm it down
You're
more?
muted, Alan.
Someone that knows what they're doing.
And I think, I guess with that, she'll look at Aquila and like,
Aquila
I
nods.
swear to God, if you summon anyone else other than calm down this spirit, I don't know what I'll do, but it'll be something evil. And she...
Shurva's
She's
whip's going to
like-
get a bit longer. I'm going to make it. Aquila sort of gives you a bit of a scared nod and goes, no, I'm happy to go for some water bending now. Yep, let's do the spiral. Yeah. As he begins like helping out. Okay, you doing the same? You doing the
Yep.
spiral to make the helix? Alright, perfect. As the two of you begin working together, you see the ice and snow pool around the fox's feet before turning into this double helix spiral of water around it. As the spiral moves up, you see the white fur of the fox begin to fade to this beautiful golden light. And as the light moves up and up its body, you see the fox sort of look down at Aal curiously, and then bend forward and breathe into your face, Aal, this breath of cold air across your face. Aal,
That tickles on my beard, which is long. Yes, long.
suddenly the cold doesn't feel as cold anymore to you. The bitter, icy winds no longer feel as cold. As you feel the sort of gust of icy air push across you and then fade, the cold fades with it, and you feel different. Something feels different. The cold doesn't seem as biting. and you feel like you can feel the temperature in the wind, or the temperature in the air, as if it's something that you could manipulate, something you could change with your airbending.
I'll touch his beard to see if it's grown.
His beard is not grown.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll recognizes this feeling and just digs deep and takes note of it. Doesn't say anything to anyone else, and just yep.
As the spirals of water reach the top, the golden light passes over the fox's head and ears and the tip of its tails. It slowly begins dissolving into motes of golden energy, these little golden balls of light, which dissipate, fade, leaving behind a broken temple, blue flames completely gone out, the wind dying down around you. Korok dusts off the snow from his pants from the blast of icy cold that he had created before to push through the door, and looks around at Oki and Aquila. That was very well done. You have calmed it and appeased it. It is back in the spirit worlds. That was very impressive.
I guess pressure, you don't really have any other choice in the matter. This doesn't mean that I haven't forgiven you, though.
Aquila sort of points behind you and goes, "Oh my god, is that another spirit?" And turns and points behind Mako.
Where?
Mako turns, Al turns, Ryan.
I'm gonna roll to see with an old turn because there's a 50-50 chance. Let me roll a d20. 1. What do I get?
1.
Yeah, I'll turn.
Turn's the hardest. He's spinning 360 over and over again.
Where?
Rung looks up, like he is so confused. He looks in the wrong direction. Shurva, would you turn and look?
Yeah.
All right, great. Then that's everyone.
I do a thumbs up behind my
Turn
back.
around, she's
No,
sitting there
not for
like,
Oki. No, it's all right. I know.
what's
Oki's-
happened?
Just wanted to know everyone else was.
Crossed.
As everyone turns and looks except for Oki, Aquila sort of goes to do a bit of like a sprint away and sees Oki dead eye look at him and goes, "Yeah, that wasn't gonna work."
Oki, look over
Not
here.
again.
Oki, and I gotta grab Oki to turn her. Like, come on, look.
Oki, we need you. There's a spirit over here somewhere.
This is where
Aquila's like, no, I get it.
Oh fuck.
I was thinking I might see what else I could do. I don't think I can stay at the Water Tribe. I don't think I'm right. I think something's wrong, and I need to go fix it. I'm not going to ask to travel with you. I know you don't trust me. I know some of you don't like me. I know some of you want to cut my arms off.
This one.
I know one of you wants to
You
cut my arms
too?
off.
And legs.
I just want to say, I'm really sorry. I trusted someone completely, and it was the wrong person. And I know that's no excuse for my actions, but I'm sorry all the same. And I'd like to make up for them. Not by sitting in an ice jail for the rest of my life, but by doing something real. If you'll give me the chance, Oki.
Banished? He wasn't going to be sent to jail anyway.
Oh, was I going to be banished? Oh, great. Well, fucking don't even worry. Take me back then. Who cares?
A
I feel like that's exactly
metaphorical
what Archie
jail,
would have said,
obviously.
actually.
Yeah.
I think I've got Archie
Wait, what?
banished.
Finished.
Wait, I was going to be banished. Oh, fucking.
Oh,
Well, who gives a shit then?
Jesus.
Whatever.
Really?
I'm sick of this place.
He's gonna
anyway.
leave anyway.
Fucking me.
Like, I didn't actually want to be here.
I hate this town. Do.
There's one
If you do want to
more
come back to the
down.
town with this, though, I can give you back your puppets.
No, it's okay. You can keep them. I'm going to
already
make
got
new
one.
puppets.
No, you can take them back. You can quite easily.
No, you can
Have them
take
right
it back.
here.
It's fine. Yeah, like we're.
Hang on. You don't have the puppets with you. I'll deliberately described leaving them behind safely. Nice try.
Damn
They're on the
it.
sled. We can just go get them.
No, that's okay. I'll come back when I'm worthy of them.
I'll look after them.
If you want. I was just going to make new ones.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll modify them to make them actually look like a sky
No, don't
bison.
touch them. No, I don't want you to touch them.
Well, there technically is.
No,
in a
no,
way now.
leave them
Finest
there.
keepers.
No. Leave
Squirrel's
him
rights.
there. Don't. No. I'm gonna take him back now.
What if he whittled his own?
That's fine. That's his puppet then. I don't care.
What if he whittles yours?
I care. That's my puppet.
What if I just like
That's-
destroy them so
that's
there's
why we
no
can get around this,
evidence
don't worry.
of your past and you can just move forward now?
That might work for you, Mako, but some of us need to learn from our mistakes.
Oh! Oh!
Archie would have said that, and you know he would have.
Oh!
You know Archie would have said
was
that.
that ice cold?
Oh!
You know
Just got-
Archie would
temperature
have said
dropped.
that instantly, with no hesitation. Am
How
I
did
wrong?
that feel?
Oh!
Emotional damage.
I'm not saying anything Archie wouldn't have said. I'm sure.
Ooh!
Oh!
You guys know Archie better than me. He would have said that, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I
damn.
can see that.
Yeah.
Too mean.
That cut deep.
That was more believable of Archie saying it than any of the apologies.
I think
yeah,
you said
fair.
something like that to me in real life. Radio. Okay.
I might start my
If I-
banishment now, if it's all the same
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah. I'll give you
Hey,
10
Oki.
seconds to head start.
Any chance you know
While I
how to heal
recover.
that burn?
There's plenty of ice around.
Ahini looks at you, Sheva, and goes, "You know, female waterbenders are good for more than just healing, Sheva."
Obviously, I've been hanging out with this one for a long
No,
time
I'm
now.
kidding. I just wanted to dig Korok again. I just wanted to make fun of Korok again. Hey, I have
Maybe
no
Korok
Korok
problem.
hear
can
it?
heal him.
I have never once told you off for doing forbidden bending. The fact that you call it forbidden bending is the problem, Korok. Yes,
Yeah.
I see. Yes.
So
I
are we-
will not see Akila. He was never here. I have no knowledge of him being here because obviously I would have to report such a thing. If I have seen him here, I would have to tell somebody that he survived his fall. But
That's just a lot of paperwork.
sadly, there is the snow is in my eyes. I cannot see. It's too cold. I will look over the edge of this iceberg here and see if I can see some other things. Korok looks over.
Burn his
He's looking
puppets.
at the edge. And he sort of gives him a bit of a look.
Wasn't he
He's like,
snowblind?
"That guy's weird. Cool, but a bit weird."
He's trying. He's trying.
Cold-blooded. That's how I remember him now.
So
He
He
does what I
does.
do. He looks
She
away to
pulls a
avoid his
30
problems.
centimeter lance.
Get
Get a 30 centi-
30 centimeter long lance.
Yep, and you get a 30-second head start.
Akila like laughs a little
Animated for every second.
and then looks at your face and goes, "Oh fuck," and begins sort of running towards the edge of the iceberg. As he turns back, he's like, "Hang on, how did you guys get up here so quickly?" Ahini's like, "Ice elevator? Oh yeah, right," and then just yeets himself off the side. You don't hear
Like
a splash
seal kind of
or a
thing.
crack. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, right.
Just picture like Oki's just like Hans Landa in just Inglourious Bastards. It's like person's running away. She's there for the shot, waiting for the time. Skew reference, I know.
Does the ice lance leave your hands?
No, she leans it into the ground and then leans on it, and I don't know, is probably feeling a bit conflicted about it, but I don't think she actually would try and kill him.
You sound sure of that.
Very sure.
If you need help,
Ahini,
Well, let's give it a crack.
he did
sorry,
just
Andrew.
burn me. If you need help, he did just burn me. So,
Ahini puts a hand on your
Look
shoulder.
it over it.
Oki, I'm really proud of you. That was the right thing to do. I know it wasn't the easy thing to do, and it probably doesn't feel like the right thing to do, but it was. I promise. If you
I'll.
done that,
Sorry.
you
Go
would
on.
just become like him. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, Al walks in. He misreads the moment and joins a group hug with Ahini and Oki.
So Ahini's just got a hand on Oki's shoulder. Who do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hug?
Al like comes in, like brings them both in.
Okay, yeah. You both get sort of pulled into a hug, and Ahini's like, well, this is nice. Gives you
I'll look at the others. Okay.
Does anyone else joining this group hug? I need to know now.
Oh, Oki hugs him back. She-
Ahini puts a hand on our shoulder and gives him like a pat on his back.
I just side up towards Mako and I'm like, see what happens when you run off.
It's like now I don't trust Al at all. He tried to kill me. That was an assassination attempt right there.
I mean, to be fair, he hasn't trusted us for a while.
Oh right, I forgot about that. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't take notes better.
So is the fox spirit like dealt with? And what is that fox spirit? I have not seen it before.
Mako
Yeah,
said it
that's a
before.
good question.
I've seen it like 3 times. It had like 1 tail, then 2, and then it had 4. So like it doubled every time.
I mean,
And
I've
then it
seen,
went to
like,
9.
I feel like I've seen
Which-
9 tails. Yeah, I feel like I've seen a statue with a fox with like a buttload of tails. Literally a buttload. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Like a load of tails on its butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. Sorry. That's weird. Yeah. I have seen a statue of that fox around. I just didn't. I don't know. I feel like maybe we should ask Tarnak about it.
Is that like? Can I actually just put a tick next to one of the temples that I need to go to, or is not yet?
You don't know.
I'm gonna put a tick there anyway in my mind.
Okay. Do you remember what you had to do at those temples? Okay.
Nope. I remember something about blood, and I didn't give blood, but I'm like, yeah,
Cool. Okay. Great. Just checking.
just checking.
Just checking.
Does the temple go in deeper?
It goes up higher. There's floors above. Looks like the stairs are partially collapsed. But yeah, I mean, as far as you know, probably is a way to get all the way to the top. I mean, you could just fly up there. You're an airbender.
I'll have to look at Tanuk's note that he gave us last
Yes.
session. What exactly did it ask us to do at the temple?
To investigate the temple, and to come back and report what you find to him.
Oki, here's a note from Tanuk. I didn't read the bottom half, only the top half. That's why we're here.
You read half of a letter.
Well, because it was the other half was the letter's addressed to you, but it was general. No, it was general for the first half, and then the second half when it became specific to you, I stopped reading.
Yes, but the general part of a personal letter, that's definitely open season.
Well, I mean, like it wasn't
Yeah.
an envelope or anything. It was just a sheet of paper that was
Rolled up,
left for us at the inn.
sealed with a wax seal.
Not necessarily
Oki.
saying "Dear Oki" on the outside of the seal.
It
It was just told for
It
us.
said Oki on it.
It did say Oki and
Yeah.
okay. Well, the innkeeper said it was for us.
You know for a fact he said it was for Oki. You decided to open it and just check and see if there's anything personal, and then not read anything personal. You were like,
I'm pretty sure
mail-
you were like, oh, there might be some useful information on here for us.
TFN.
I'll just read a bit of it and we'll see if it's for Oki or not. And then the first bit was general. You're like, oh, great, well, we can know this. And the next bit started to talk about assisting. You're like, oh, yeah, no, I can't read this bit. And quickly rolled it up again.
That did indeed happen. I remember.
Yeah, here you go. Should we check the rest of the temple? I'm sorry for reading your letter.
Oki, you are handed a scroll with the wax seal broken open and your name slightly torn as they have opened it. The first section does indeed start with,
Dear Oki, I think it's wise if you go and investigate the Forgotten Temple. I believe it was once one section of ice attached to the mainland, but has since broken off and become an iceberg. Take a kilo with you if you get a chance. The two of you should be able to find some interesting things there. Report back on what you find. Make sure not to go too far into the temple. People have gone missing there, you know. It's a spooky place. And I'm so
You guys want
sorry.
to go further in the temple?
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Does
to
Oki
hear
read
about
it out
your
like this?
sister.
Yeah. This is like it's the video game narration. Like suddenly, like the text comes onto screen and starts scrolling, and like the graphic of him. That comes into place.
It's like, okay, let me tell you about this letter I wrote you. Dear Oki,
I'm not reading the whole thing yet. It then gets to the next bit where he goes,
I'm sorry to hear about your sister. Perhaps there might be something you can find in there that could be useful. It said some of the spirits had great healing powers, and that is where the Water Tribe learnt their healing from originally. Good luck, and I look forward to hearing your report from you and Akila shortly.
that's what it says.
Do you guys want to go further in?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
guess
He said
so.
spooky.
Good. Do you want to wait out
Yeah,
here, or are
we
you
smell
coming in
that.
with us?
I literally just read out loud,
Don't go too far into the temple.
and you guys are like, yeah, let's go in.
Yeah.
But I said it in
Look,
a
the
voice,
other
so
part-
you absolutely
Yeah.
should
Said
disregard
no-
anything a boomer has to say.
Yeah.
If a
obviously.
DM ever says, "Do not click that button," we're gonna click that button.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's a big button attached to like the side of a nuclear reactor that says like.
I'll click it.
It's already been pushed. It's been pushed
I was
like
like,
for you.
Smash that
I can't
button.
believe it's a nuclear reactor in Avatar. Cool.
I know. Absolutely. Kurok looks over at you guys and goes, "What did the note say? Anything interesting?"
Yeah, it said we should explore the rest of this temple.
Are you sure? It looks rather dangerous and run down. But if Tarnok said it is safe, then we shall go and have a look.
Cool.
He didn't necessarily say it was safe. Just so you know what you're getting into. But we're all warriors here.
It's spooky. That's just like
You
another
are
word for kind of safe.
literally a monk. You
A
cannot
monk
just say,
warrior.
I'm a warrior. You're a child.
A nomad. He
Like,
doesn't live into your
What do you
social norms, you
mean?
see.
Before bed, we hear fairy
There's
tales
only
about these Shaolin monks, which were like kung fu experts.
There's only technically one
also
warrior
monks.
here amongst us, and that's Shurva.
yeah.
Thank
Not even, not
God.
even technically. Like she's actually a soldier.
There
She's
is a
trained.
spoiled son of a delegate.
Woohoo!
There is a rebel waterbender. There is a child nomad. And there is a guy who likes coal. Like,
It's the best breakdown of the character party I've ever heard.
Sounds like the best team you could have asked for.
we are warriors.
There's a badass
we?
bitch with a whip, some bald
No
dude
we?
who follows them around and flies on a kite. There's some spoilt brat who wants his daddy. There's some waterbender who's
Daddy?
like, fuck the system.
Daddy?
And then there's some dude who just like fucking loves coal. Boom. Team
Like-
Avatar.
Chill.
Oh my god.
We blew up a mess
And look
of
how
rock.
far we've gotten.
We're actively terrorists. No, we were terrorists.
Do you know how many times in
different
this
timeline.
campaign I have gotten so close to death to save you people? By
That should be an
jumping in
exclamation
front of
mark.
me.
Command in chat.
Oh
Time
my
Shurva.
god.
We need to add that as a command in chat for time Shurva's like died trying to save these guys.
Is this the abridged version? Yes, this is the abridged version.
I can't.
Everything of the Lost Archives is the abridged version.
And like, none of these stupid adventures have been my idea. I'm always just like, do you really think that is a smart idea? And you're like, yeah, let's explore this. I'm like, okay, I'll
It's
come
not
in
even.
and
It's not even.
save
Yes, let's
you.
explore this. It's like Rung looks up from having done the thing and is like, "What do you mean? What's the problem?"
Yeah. Well, you should have told me not to do it before
Guys,
I
should
did
we-
it.
Should we do that thing?
It's
I don't
actually
know
your
if that thing's
fault.
wise. And Rung's there like having done the thing. Be like, yeah.
Oh,
I did.
no.
It was a
I didn't get any coal. Am I doing it right? Alrighty.
But I have a badge.
But I got a badge. Yeah, badge of authority. He says I can do whatever I want.
God, he does a good impersonation of me. I love hearing it.
Oh, wait, it's not the same person talking?
I don't even
For
need to be
podcast
here
listeners,
anymore.
there are two separate people talking right now.
I think.
Am I
it's
hearing my own
discernible, but
thoughts?
Thank you. I'm flattered. I gotta work on my R next. Can you do a bit more R for me?
It's just my voice.
It's just my voice. How's that?
Perfect.
Yeah, that's exactly the same.
Stay that character.
All right, done. All right, back on track. Yeah, you guys just begin walking into the temple. Yeah, 100%. Ahini like looks over Oki's shoulder, reads the note, and goes, it definitely says don't go in the temple. Don't go too deep. Like
What if we just
Yeah,
explore this room?
it just says.
It
to
also
go
said
back
something about checking out for healing spirits. It also says to go kind of in.
So it says to investigate. So does it want us to investigate or like not investigate?
Well, the part that we had
That's
previously not read says that we can find some spirits that might be able to help Oki's sister.
Yeah.
It's worth
And we
it,
did
right?
calm down the spooky big one, so what else could be in there?
When it says deep, does it mean we shouldn't go up extra floors or we shouldn't go down if there is a way down?
We'll know when we make it to the
Yeah.
end.
Deeper into the up?
That's the
deeper
way of
into
thinking I like.
Okay. You guys head on inside. Could I have assess the situation checks from each of you? I had to fight my brain not to say investigation checks. I had to really fight and go assess the situation. Oh, man.
Assess the investigation. Damn.
Assess the investigation. 6, 8,
Oof.
5. Hiya.
Please don't let me be the only one with like.
Oh.
Oh no.
6.
Wrong?
Marco, what question would you like to ask?
Oh,
One
no.
question.
Oh
You
no.
get a single question, and please don't ask a question about the fire.
6.
I get a +2.
The entire team sucks.
So just for podcast listeners, so Oki rolled a 6, Mako rolled an 8, Al rolled a 5, Shurva rolled a 6, Rung rolled a 6. Anything below a 7 is a fail. Which means no questions, and that means Mako gets 1 question. Mako, don't fuck up this question, mate. Where can I find the nearest?
Is your name?
1 sec.
What is the velocity of a lane?
Great roll.
What is the SP velocity of a lane swallow? What, African or European? I don't know that.
So this is like from like observation.
Okay.
After the fox disappeared, did the lanterns also?
Yes, all the lanterns have
sconces?
gone out. Yep, all the sconces
Cool.
have gone out.
That was cool.
All right, great. That's your question.
No. No.
I'm kidding. I'm
No.
kidding.
Shit. I wasn't prepared for this. I was gonna be like, yeah, I failed, obviously.
Turns out that old man voice from the Holy Grail really does a number on my throat. Holy shit.
Is
gonna keep
there a
doing it.
way
Yes.
to go up or down using the destroyed, falling
Yes.
apart staircase?
There is a way to go both. You can see that if you were to climb over the debris blocking the upper staircase, yeah, you could easily get to the upper floors. And behind the staircase, hidden from view with the doors closed and the light being blocked, but now very visible with the light shining through, there is a hatch that leads down a ladder into darkness below.
Now, when the letter says deep, I'm assuming we should not go in the scary looking hatch that's hidden away.
Oh,
I,
but
I,
there's a
understand.
hatch.
I obviously can't answer questions from afar.
But there's a hatch.
We're
Okay,
we're actually quite near the top right now, aren't we? Because we
Uh,
went up.
We're on the first floor. There's
First
still
floor.
several floors above
There's-
us.
Yeah, 8 floors above you.
Do we go up and we come back down and then we go down, depending on how we're feeling?
We'll have to be really careful of the staircases,
Yeah, and like the
depending
roof.
how dilapidated they are as we go up.
I feel
'cause
like
it gets
going
worse
down
the
is
higher we
actually
go.
safer than going up, because going up, like, stability of like the whole structure. Going down, it's actually going to be pretty safe.
We
But then we
could
have to get
What
back
if it
up
comes
after
down
going
on you?
down.
we could split up.
Yes.
Split the
So
party.
I
Who wants to
know,
go down?
I know
All
it's probably a terrible idea, but hear me out. If the airbender and the waterbender go up, because they would be safest to go up. If, you know, a staircase breaks down, one of them can make, you know, ice stairs and the other one can float. And then the other 3 of us can go down. That way I can make sure Mako doesn't die.
It might be Cole.
As I know this
Sure,
might
we
sound
might
strange.
eventually hit Cole.
I know this
If you
might
go
sound
down far
strange.
enough, you always find Cole.
I know this
sure.
might be like strange coming from me, but I'd rather be with Oki, because then when I eventually piss off a spirit, she can calm it down.
That's true, but who's to say there's not going to be
Usually
spirits
spirit.
both directions?
Who's to say we can't calm down spirits? As I look down at Shurva, and it's like, oh. All they do is just
I
throw
stand.
water at it.
All I can do is
Give me a
kill
spitz bottle.
spirits, or like make a wish. That's all I got.
If you remember correctly, last time Mako started attacking a spirit, I took his side and killed it.
Yeah, and like just then, the fox
Mm.
spirit was gonna kill me. Then like
I was like the one spirit though. Like, I'm sure they don't all talk and gossip amongst each other.
oh no, they do.
Oh, look
Oh,
over
I also
Oki. Do they
pissed
all
off-
gossip and talk amongst each other?
I also pissed off. We also pissed off. Who was it?
Hutong
Wang
again.
Shunton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet we all pissed off Wang
Angry.
Shitong.
Well,
No,
so
again.
technically, it was the Fire Nation that did
Overstayed
it,
your
and then
welcome.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was adults. That's what it was.
yeah, you're right, adults.
Well, in that case, would Rung want to go up with Al
No.
since Rung is
I'm
Al's
scared of heights.
guardian?
Oh well, that's. Oh.
I feel like we should all stay together though. Like, I feel like we shouldn't split the party.
Yeah. What time of day is it? It's like it's still like pretty early.
There's
right?
like
It
a
really just
voice
woke
like
up.
in the
11
back.
a.m.
There's like a
Yeah,
voice in
all
the back
day.
of my head saying.
But what
"Don't
if
split the
Al wanted
party."
to come down? Like, Al loves underground, closed, confined
That's what I'm saying. We
spaces.
should all just go together in the one direction.
And you just want to go down.
Oh,
Well, we should go up first because it's less, and we don't know how deep this goes. It's only 8 floors up, right?
Yeah. The only
I
thing
can
I'm
be
worried
8
about
floors
is
up.
the only thing I'm worried about is the more people that go up and down the staircases, considering how damaged everything looks up there, the more likely the whole thing's gonna crumble.
Well, Al can hover
we
up, so it's
could-
okay.
We could say
Yeah,
the
that's
same
why I
about
wanted to
going
send
down, though.
him.
Yeah, then everyone else.
If-
So
if
there's
I-
only 4 people going up then.
If
Can
we
I
go
just
down
walk
and the
on
staircase
the initial
breaks-
3 steps, just to test my weight on these stairs.
Are you going up or down? Because the down is a ladder.
Uh,
up
just-
is the staircase.
Just walk up the staircase, just a couple steps, just
Walk
to
up 3
see what it
steps.
feels like under my tootsies.
You walk up 3 steps. Your tootsies feel safe and secure.
Yeah, I do a little.
Staircase collapses beneath and Rung drops down into the room below. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You guys watch as Rung and disappears below. Rung, you fall through and land on a very hard surface, collapsing below the stairs as the staircase collapses underneath him as he jumps up and down.
Guys, I think our decision has been made.
Up it is.
God has spoken.
Rung, I need you to mark a fatigue as you drop down the stairs and land in pitch black darkness.
This is exactly what happened with before.
Down it is.
Can we just say that I'm getting a flashback to back in the Earth Kingdom when you were testing out the mole tunnels and you did
Oh,
the
yeah.
exact same thing.
Yep.
A little. I need to stop doing this.
The Badger mole
Are you
tunnels.
okay, Ron? Are you hurt?
You hear
Ron?
like a loud crick in my neck, like.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, can Al just go to the base of the
Right there.
stairs and like chuck his point his ear upwards?
You open the base of the stairs to listen up.
Chuck his ear.
Yeah.
You hear the wind sort of howling through the staircase above.
I open up the hatch.
Yeah, down it is. I'll jump down the hole that Rung made.
Are you
Glide
using it
down.
to
Rung-shaped.
slow your
Yeah.
fall, or just-
I just kind of like, I mean, like I can't just like levitate down either, can I? Because like I'm
you
yeah.
have to
that's
do a
fine.
blast of air below you to like create updraft to slow yourself down.
I'll just take the ladder.
And, Marco opens the hatch. I'll just push this past you and begins climbing down.
I was gonna ask if it actually was a ladder, or if
Yeah,
they
it's
were
a
like
ladder.
if it's just a hatch and it
No,
just
there's a
drops
ladder.
off again.
As the hatchway opens, Rung light is cast around you. You can see that you're in some sort of chamber, a wooden chamber in the ice that's been melted and positioned. All around you, you can see adorning the walls are intricate, beautiful, embroidered cloth that shows these patterns, swirling designs, and in the very center, depiction of a fox, white fur, 9 white tails, ice growing from its feet around it. Very similar to the tapestries that you saw back in the Seer's quarters, Tarnok's quarters.
I'll help Rung up.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm glad
alright,
we
that's right.
didn't go upstairs. That would have been terrible. Imagine me falling down 8 flights of stairs. That would be so cool.
I'll imagines it and likens it to that wheelbarrow thing that we did that one time.
That was pretty cool. You're right. That was cool. But just I'd point towards the big fox tapestry on the wall to Al. I'm like, I don't know if I'm seeing double. I've maybe seen double, but I think I see 8 fingers here and 9 tails there. Is it 4 tails? And that makes 9 with the 5.
You see, I'll actually go like 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah. There are 9 on that tapestry. You're not
Alright,
seeing
I'm just
double.
gonna close my eyes for a bit and reset my vision. Yeah, okay, cool. It is 9. All right, cool. I thought I had a concussion then. But I think it's okay now. Hey guys, there's cool art down here. You might like to see it.
Heaney steps
And-
right at the place where Rung dropped down, but then pulls some ice around her feet that sort of spears down and slams into the ground next to you guys, and then lowers herself down. On this ice.
I just take the ladder.
I like her.
Heaney's badass.
Superhero landing.
Was that close to hurting us?
It was really close. It like spears down next to you, Arl, and you're like, oh! And then Heaney just like slowly sinks down with her arms folded and goes,
Now, is there
yeah, that's cool. Look at that.
could there be more light in this room, or is that
that was
lit
a bit
enough?
There could be more light. It's pretty dim.
If I just am I able to just have like flames just in my hand?
Of course you can.
Yep,
Yeah.
cool.
You're
Great.
literally a
As you do that,
firebender,
Mako,
friend.
As you do that, as you create fire in the
Yeah,
center of
well-
water, you watch as Mako
That- I'm
catches
more
fire
scared of the control.
burning to... No, none of that happens. Mako,
I'm
you just
more-
create some flame in your hands, nothing happens.
I'm
You
more
create some flame.
concerned
Plenty of
about
flammable
just setting
things in
stuff
here,
on
be careful.
fire. Just
No, you create a
randomly.
small ball of flame in your hands, you hold it up,
Cool.
great light.
You're
These tapestries could be worth something.
Look,
Don't burn them.
you take your bending for granted.
I'm more of the trying to hurt stuff firebender
Privileged.
than trying to just have a ball of fire in my hand firebender.
Are there any things nearby that look like they'd be made to like receive fire for light purposes, like
No.
sconces or braziers or anything
No,
like that?
that's something that you do notice that's a bit odd about this place, Oki. What you do notice as well is that the walls are actually made of ice. You get the impression that originally this room probably was located on the edge of a cliff, maybe, and as the light shone through, this room was illuminated by sunlight refracting through the ice. But the iceberg has cracked off, it has since been shifted and moved, frozen, refrozen, melted. The light's not coming through anymore. There's too much snow on top, and it probably would have been kept clean and maintained by the waterbenders. But now that its temple's been left to ruin, yeah, the light's no longer coming in. You can still see the sunlight, I mean, it's hard to see as soon as Mako creates flame, and then therefore the natural light is much dimmer than his flame. But yeah, when you were down there initially, you could see some light filtering through the ice walls. And yeah, you can see this beautiful tapestry hung up. Now that you've got a bit of light down there, you can see really closely, it seems to depict a time very, very long ago. The water tribe looks almost unrecognizable. No massive canals, no massive towers of ice, no massive wall blocking the harbour. In fact, where this looks to be doesn't even look to be where the water tribe is currently located. This harbour looks completely different. Instead, it looks like the water tribe live on a flotilla of boats moving across the sea, nomadic, almost like the airbenders a little bit, sort of nomadic lifestyle. Before coming across looks to be the fox spirit that shows them how to ice bend. You see the waterbenders learning how to bend ice and control ice from the fox as it teaches them, showing them and guiding them. Over time, the waterbenders prosper, creating a giant city of ice. As the tapestry moves along, you begin to see it looks more and more like the water tribe that you know and recognize. The large spires, the canals, ice wall protecting the harbour. And then you see the people turning away from the fox spirit, no longer listening to its lessons, following, leaving it. You see statues of the fox crumble and melt, turn to water once more. The fox growing more and more distressed, more and more betrayed, until ice begins burning. And in the very last panel, you see that familiar form of the fox. White, blue flames moving across its body. It changes to something darker.
Alert its final form.
God damn it.
Now it's now Flameon.
But when Oki and Aquila began doing their waterbending, and when the fox had interacted with Arl, you could see that it was back in that ice form once more, that white-furred frost cresting the tail, that form that you now see in the center of the tapestry at the height of its power. So you're not sure.
Like location markers or anything that's like obvious in the tapestry, like a particular room that seems highlighted
No,
or
there's
anything?
no depictions of the tower at all. The tower doesn't seem to be depicted in this tapestry at all. You get the sense that the tower might have actually been made after the tapestry. The tapestry looks old, very old. The colours and the paint have faded from the thread a little bit. But and when it depicts the city, it's a very stylized representation. It's done with needle and thread. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio or a map in any way. It's more a stylized depiction of the water tribe.
Does the fox look familiar to the fox we just met before?
Identical.
Identical.
Question.
Why don't he have less tails though?
By the
Is there
time
another?
you saw at the very end, it had 4. Yes.
Is there a way down?
What was that, sorry?
Is there a way down?
No, it looks like this is the lowest room.
This is the lowest room. Okay.
Did I go to Oki? Like, do you guys seem to revere this thing somewhat? Potentially some sort of god or something to give you your powers? Do you have any recollection of whether or not you guys abandoned it?
If we did, it was a long time ago, but judging by the tapestry, I'm wondering if the spirit fox was maybe similar to waterbenders in the same way that the badger moles were to earthbenders. Where the legend is that's where they learnt the bending.
Yeah, that's right. It said that the earthbenders first learned earthbending from the badger moles. I think the firebenders first learned firebending from the dragons. The airbenders from the sky bison. It always struck me as a bit weird that the waterbenders...
We really got the coolest one, right?
It always struck me as a bit weird that the waterbenders were supposed to have learnt theirs from the moon. I don't know, that always felt a bit out of pattern with the rest of the nations, Ahini says.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else has animals.
Yeah,
Spirit animals.
That's what I mean, yes. Yeah, animals that are important and are real as well. I always thought it was a bit weird that the waterbenders were supposed to have learnt waterbending from the moon. I don't know, this is...
Giant fox?
I don't know.
I mean, one way to find out. I guess maybe there are more tapestries on other floors, or maybe we'll see old Foxy again.
The question
How
is,
big's
what
the
did the fox
tapestry?
say?
What does the fox say? Kurok, as he comes down the stairs, down the ladder, looks and goes, "Ah, well done, you have found a tapestry. Shall we take this back to Tanuk?"
Yeah, I'm keen.
Would moving it damage it? I assume it would.
Or piss off the spirit.
Yeah.
But Oki and Akila appease the spirits.
It's chill.
Lee, I think. I don't think he's, it's
Is it
all
easy to
said and
move?
done.
Rung's like, can Rung sort of like get it like just like a little like tap on it to see if it's about to like
fantastic.
crumble?
Rung, as you touch it, it turns to dust. No, I'm kidding.
Yep.
The cold has preserved it very, very well. The cold and dry, because it's so cold there's no moisture in the air. It's all frozen. Rung, as you go, you lift it up. It's quite stiff, but it does still roll. And Ahini comes and helps you. She's like, big meaty earthbender hands. I'll just give you a hand there. Right,
Sorry, I already dusted off all the coal.
Hey, do you know what? If you could find me something to put it in, a big tube of some sort, that would be so good, Run. Could you do that?
Yeah, of course. I can do anything. I'm amazing.
I thought
I'll
so.
wander off looking for a big tube.
Yeah, can you go help me find a big tube? I'm going to roll this up very carefully, okay? Hey?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, easy sorted.
Can you do an
Tube,
assessment
tube,
situation
tube,
for me?
tube, tube.
As Ahini takes
Tube,
the
tube,
tapestry
tube.
off you, begins rolling it up.
Tube. I'm looking for a big tube. There it is.
I can't see it. 7. No tubes, Rung. Surprisingly, no scroll cases just hanging around ready to be loaded up with tapestry. And as you turn back around, you see Kurok has created a cylinder out of ice. And you see Ahini slowly sliding the tapestry in. She turns around and goes, "You didn't find one? Oh, damn. All right, we'll have to make do with the ice one then."
I mean, if there's more dirt around here, I could have made one. But there's no dirt anywhere here. This place sucks. I'm glad Kurok's got one.
Would we want to wrap it in dirt, though, do you reckon?
No, I'll just make like a dirt tube. Like compress it. So it'll be like tough and stronger than ice. Because ice is weak and melts in the sun. So something that's actually going to last a lifetime, not a day. But it's really cool what you got to make
Dirt's
too.
not known for crumbling, right?
No, not if you compress it, like, because that's why you got to work out every day and get real muscle.
I think once it's compressed, it becomes stone, doesn't it, Run? Isn't that the difference?
Yeah, basically. But if you're really strong, you can turn dirt to stone. But anyway, I'm glad we got a tube.
She gives you a bit of a look as if she
Proud of us all.
a single word you're saying.
He's been a little facetious.
Was there a statue in the middle or not of the room?
No statues.
No.
And
Anything
you said this is
behind
the
where the
bottom room
top-
now.
Yeah, this is the lowest room down. It's just one basement. It's not like a copy of the tower above and below. As cool as that would be.
If there's nothing sort of behind where the tapestry was or anything else that sort of...
No
Oh,
secret
no.
tunnels. I'm sorry.
Secret tunnel.
No
Oki's
secret
just gonna start climbing up again.
tunnels. Climb back
She's
up to the
like,
first floor.
if there's nothing at the bottom, I guess it's gotta be at the top.
Fantastic.
I'll follow Oki.
Awesome. I think that's where we might wrap up because the other floors of the tower is going to take us a bit of time. I think I'd like to do them as one thing rather than just trying to speed through a couple of floors now. I think it's best if we do that as we go. That'll be a way that you can actually kind of explore the tower effectively. We're also at 9:30ish, so I reckon that's a good
Jesus.
point there. Yeah.
I need to eat
that's
food.
2 hours. I reckon that's a good point. So let's wrap up there. We will be back next week, next Thursday, back to our usual time. And we will get to learn how to explore the tower. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Stay safe, stay well. See you next time. Okay, well, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.